I mean, so would the Boston Bruins because of just their competitive history, and you don't want to go.
Yeah, they're not in the same spot as the Jets.
No. But like the history is there, right? Maybe the Bruins aren't the best team in the NHL right now, but they are your biggest rival, really, and have been a part of your sad history. So you would hope that would have been a moment that you could have come back and had a great feeling about, but they didn't. And there was some fight at the end of that game to push it to overtime, and then we don't need to relitigate the errors in overtime. But I do think the Maple Leafs will see this one as even a bigger opponent. So let's tee it up with Jacob Stoller, who's joining us right now of Sportsnet.ca. Jacob, we appreciate you jumping on. How are you tonight? How are the vibes around this Winnipeg Jets team? We're kind of envious.
Vibes are pretty immaculate right now. I mean, there's no snow yet, so that's the biggest thing. And then this hot start's got the city buzzing. Honestly, one of my favorite games of the year is when Toronto's here. I think Minnesota's a big rivalry, but there's something about Winnipeggers' dislike for Toronto that gets Portage and Maine kind of bumping. So great vibe heading to the building tonight.
Yeah, we've heard that in the dressing room before, right? The Logan
Stanley Cup, baby.
Yeah. Everyone gets juiced up to play the Leafs. Generally, we see those best punches thrown when teams are rolling through Toronto, but it seems to have like an effect in both barns, at least with the Winnipeg Jets. Okay, so 8-0 start. I mean, it's no one can touch the Jets right now in terms of record. What's the driving force behind that in your mind? Like, I think the easy reflective answer or reflexive answer would be Connor Hellebuck and brilliant goaltending. But if you dig a little deeper, and I'm sure you have been, what's driving this brilliant start?
Well, Hellebuck's a huge part of it, but the biggest driver is the buy-in. Like, this team has completely taken last year, the way that they lost against Colorado, which was obviously not a desired result, huge disappointment from the regular season a strong regular season, and they've come out flying. They bought into being who they are. What they are is a stingy 5-on-5 defensive team. Mason Appleton, the other said, after one of their games, prefer to beat teams 2-1, 3-1. They have their identity and they've executed it, and I think it's really impressive. I think that and I myself, even coming to the year, wasn't the highest on the Jets. I'll be brutal. I even said it on 32 Thoughts, which isn't aging well, guys. But I think that you got to give them credit because the Jets, after last year, went out and swung and missed on a lot of free agents. They weren't able to re-sign Brendan Dillon, so they come in a little bit shorthanded, if you will, and they've kind of just been as good as they were last regular season, if not better. And you don't normally see that. And I think there was a huge fear in this market after seeing Nashville go out and, on that signing spree. And everyone was always saying, the Jets are screwed or all these things like, oh my gosh, it's so bad. But, as we know, guys, like Stanley Cups are not won in free agency. There hasn't been, it's not like the NBA, right? A lot of it is building over time. The Jets have done that. And I think the collective buy-in is just through the roof right now. That's why they're winning these games in a variety of different ways, night in, night out.
Yeah, and we've got some great articles up at Sportsnet.ca that I'll direct everyone to view. And it's funny because it's like third line powers Jets to another win. Great depth shows in the second line. The second line's chemistry, and it's like, okay, so everybody's scoring and everybody's producing. And I know you mentioned buy-in, but was it expected that there'd be so much balanced offense, so much depth that the Winnipeg Jets would have? They got a lot of big names as well, but it's like people like Cole Perfetti coming into his own and rising to the occasion. I think that's something that's scary to be an opponent against because it's not just one line you need to shut down. It seems to me from the outsider looking in that it's all four lines of the Winnipeg Jets that are rolling and contributing, and that's really hard to play against.
Yeah, I talked about this with a coach about a week or two ago, and they were saying that that third line the Jets have is probably not even close, but for sure the best line, the best third line in the NHL, and we've known that for that. Like their impacts continue to be strong. But the biggest surprise to me, honestly, is the fourth line. Like, I think that not a lot of people would have thought that Alex Iafallo, Morgan Barron, and Rasmus Kupari would have been this good, but they're outscoring their opponents, outplaying them at will. And it's not really traditional meat and potatoes fourth line. They're very much, they're competitive and that kind of thing, but they play with a lot of pace. And that's kind of been sort of, it's tilted the ice in their favor a lot, where you maybe wouldn't necessarily think so in the past. The Jets have usually lost a lot of their minutes on the fourth line, so that's been huge. But their depth has always been the drop, at least since Rick Bowness took over. Like, that's been the big thing for this team. So it's not terribly surprising. But you mentioned Cole Perfetti. Like, coming to the year, I said this on a couple of programs, the biggest we're going to be, will Cole Perfetti take a step? Good, streaky player to a consistent top 6 player. So far, so good. The other X factor, Neil Pionk bounced back. And the guy's like top 5 in NHL D scoring, which is great, but also he's been an absolute beast at both ends of the ice. He's been aggressive. He's killing plays. Like, those two things, for me, were the biggest question marks coming to this year, and they've been answered with exclamation marks. Like, those two guys have been drivers for, I would say Pionk's been a driver. I think Perfetti has been a good complementary piece, but they're both doing everything you'd expect from them and then some this year.
Jacob, I think we can slightly improve on your line, so we're going to look to reconnect you in a second here on Molson Leaf Hockey as we pregame Winnipeg and Toronto. Jacob Stoller, writing for Sportsnet.ca, covering the Winnipeg Jets. Interesting, I was breaking down some numbers today.
Okay, stats.
Buddy, I'm always in the stats. 5-on-5 scoring. Only +3 for the Jets. Like, they're leaning, and they're like +20, +22. They have been dominating from a special teams perspective, both on the power play, and of course, you got to be doing really, really well on the penalty kill.
Well, they got 43% on the power play,
which is crazy.
Which is not sustainable, but it's incredible right now.
Yeah,
and 87.5 on the PK. So those are their like lead leaguing in the PP, right up there in the penalty kill.
It's hard to be so bad at 5-on-5 that would absolutely put you in a great position. Again, unsustainable. We were just talking, Jacob, as Jacob Stoller joins us or rejoins us, about the special teams just being so dominant. And you touched on that a little bit, but like, what is clearly unsustainable with this group? Because, everyone's trying to wait on everyone, the positive regression, whatever you want to call it. What's something that the Jets are riding that is absolutely and entirely unsustainable?
The first line losing their minutes by such a large. Do you guys hear me okay, by the way?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So I think the most unsustainable thing is the fact that every night, this happened last year too, their first line of Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, and Gabriel Velarde is being heavily outshot, outchanced, and outplayed during 5-on-5 minutes. You can't win when the line that's playing the most at 5-on-5 is losing their minutes. So it's going to be interesting to see how long they let this ride. You're not going to see them change the line as long as they keep winning. But to be honest, the most unsustainable thing is that you can't be a top-tier NHL team when your top 6 isn't the best version of itself. Like, in a vacuum, independently, Connor's been great. Scheifele's been great as Perfetti, Ehlers. But at 5-on-5, like, neither of those two lines are really drivers as they should be. The depth's been great, but it's like you need your top guns to be there. And obviously they're not going to be scoring 40% of their power plays too, but that's not going to happen. But I think the 5-on-5 thing's the biggest kind of, I don't want to say cliffhanger, but they're leaving you wanting more a lot of nights. And I think they're very below average at 5-on-5. We'll see when that starts. If it does, it will start to impact their ability to win games. But what I'm interested to see is how long of a leash should Scott Arniel give those two lines? Because Rick Bowness, I think he tried his best to split those lines up at certain times, but for whatever reason, always reverted back. But Arniel seems to be pretty confident in the fact that they can't just do the norm to get by this year.
I was just going to ask you about Scott Arniel, actually, just because taking over and being able to lead this team. What's different about his approach? What has he been able to? 8-0 is like unprecedented lately in the NHL, and he's been able to do it from the beginning of this season. Is it the accountability? Is it like instilling like the grit, the belief factor, specifically with having such a bitter taste in the team's mouth and the way they ended the postseason? It's pretty remarkable to come out and to have like no skeletons in a sense, and to feel like a team that's almost driven by that. What have you liked about the way he's got his team off to the best start in the NHL?
Well, for starters, I like the staff he hired. I like the two assistant coaches, Dean Chinoweth, who was in Toronto, and David Payne. David Payne has really helped revitalize the power play. Dean Chinoweth has helped with their defense and the penalty kill quite a bit. But I also like the fact that, Scott Arniel, guys, he had his chance, so to speak, with Columbus, and it went really bad. And he's been pretty upfront and reflective about what went wrong there. And the number one thing that's kind of come from that is that he's way more willing to learn and be curious now. I think that you've seen it from the hop. Like, he's played Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor the penalty kill in certain instances. He's trying new things. And just for me, it's almost this innovation from him that I think is really serving him right. For all the good Paul Maurice did, for all the good that Rich Bowness did, both of those two guys were very much the typical coaches that have their way, their idea, this and that, and they'll lose games, even if it, at the sake of being comfortable because it's what they're used to. Arneal's been willing to kind of experiment, and I really admire that about him so far. And then another thing, too, which people have been kind of impressed with is one of the first things Scott Arneal said was that he was going to really invest his time and his staff getting more accustomed to analytics. And they had a really big, they call it the Analytics Summit or whatever he named it this summer. And they talked a lot recently about how, their loss against Colorado. Colorado attributed their success to their analytics department, helping them kind of decode matchups and see where they were trailing. And it burned the Jets. So Arneal's been very open-minded, I think, and that served an organization that's been, I don't want to say closed-minded, but pretty the same every year, like pretty consistent in their ways for a long time. So it's kind of a breath of fresh air, familiar face, but from someone that's willing to try things.
Last one for you, Jacob. There's some notable free agents ahead now in an 8-0 start. You don't want to be concerned too much with the heavy lifting down the road. But how important are the next couple moves here for Kevin Cheveldayoff to, continue to crystallize this group, keep it the same? Because, it's working here the last two regular seasons at the very least. What concerns Jets fans when it comes to what's ahead, and what does Cheveldayoff need to do to make sure, that he keeps this team together?
I'll give Chevy credit on this front. Whenever that guy's back's against the wall, he always seems to nail a trade. Dubois deal, the Trouba deal, every trade that he's been forced into making, every move he's had to make, or the Andrew Kopp deal, he's always found a way to make a good move. And the next couple of months will dictate what happens. I think at this point it's fair to say they're making the playoffs, so Ehlers isn't going anywhere. I coming into the year didn't think that they were going to sign him. Now, I'm not saying they should or shouldn't, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see an extension. It wouldn't shock me, just given the way they're playing and maybe him coming to the realization that they have something good here. But this is a really pivotal year for the Jets. When they signed Mark Scheifele and Connor Hellebuyck, those extensions, which kicked in this year, they did that last year, they made it clear. They want to contend in this window. They want to do it with Scheifele and Hellebuyck. And to do that, you can't retool. You can't rebuild. So you won't be seeing that from them. So they'll try their best to sign their pending UFAs. I think more than anything, Kyle Connor, who's up in 2 years, I think that's priority number one for them, to be frank. And it'll be interesting to see if they can get him at a number. I think they'll expect to be below Hellebuyck's 8.5. I think that's probably their internal. I think that's priority number one for them. But you lose Ehlers, what does that mean? And because you don't find guys like that on the open market very, very often. So it's going to be a huge couple months for Cheveldayoff, and I think he'll be aggressive against the deadline this year.
Yeah, they certainly had the start that would warrant that. Jacob, we appreciate your time tonight. It's going to be a great game. I always know the Jets and the Leafs put a good one out there for you, and an 8-0 team for the Jets and a Leafs team that needs a win. Looking forward to watching it. We appreciate you coming on, and we'll definitely chat soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Anytime.
That's Jacob Stoller of Sportsnet.ca ahead of Leafs Jets here on Molson Leafs Hockey. It's a 7:30 puck drop, so we've got a little bit more time to go through these storylines of tonight. But we mentioned it. The Jets are red hot. 8 straight wins for Winnipeg, 16 regular season wins in a row. If you look back at last year, the best power play in the league, 43%. They've got a balanced attack with a lot of their players getting on the board throughout all 4 of their lines. And the Leafs power play, on the other hand, has been abysmal. 10%, which is 4th worst in the league. But we finally saw some changes today at pregame skate. Power play 1 was Riley, Marner, Matthews, Pacioretty, and Nyes. And power play 2 was OEL, Nylander, Domi, McMahon, and Tavares. So I think that's a good start. I still wonder why Matthews-Marner connection will never be unbroken.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I guess it depends on how much you want to use both units, but you're definitely taking talent off your A unit. If your A unit is going to spend 75 seconds to 90 seconds out there, then you have like objectively worse players out there. You're also going back to Morgan Riley with your A unit, and it's got to be the A unit, I suppose, if it features Austin Matthews. But you're right. Like, I don't know if Mitch Marner's the issue. I mean, everyone saw that screenshot the other night where he didn't necessarily shoot the puck at an empty net. And I do think that part of the reason why the Leafs power play struggles so much is that the awareness is just lacking. Like, Mitch Marner is an immensely talented and gifted player. It seems, though, that he chooses the wrong time to shoot and the wrong time to pass with routine regularity on power plays. Like, that was the opportunity to shoot. And when he seems to shoot the puck on the power play, it's when the goaltender is fully recovered, slid over, and in position to make a save on what would be classified as a relatively non-threatening shot, given that Marner's not the best shooter that the Maple Leafs have. So I think it needed a change. Was this the change I would make? No. Is there definitely opportunity to improve on something that's running at 10%? Hell yeah. We'll see if they can find the right mix with two more balanced units. But I still feel like the two most dangerous players the Maple Leafs have in these situations, Austin Matthews and William Nylander. And I'd probably have them out if it's going to be 75 to 90 seconds for the A unit.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of eyes on that one tonight. It's taken some time to see meaningful change, but that's your new power play units as of tonight. We'll see if
you know what
any
I
opportunities.
just very quickly what I would do. Like, why not just trade Nyes and Tavares?
Yeah,
Are we doing like the feelings hurt thing where it's
yes,
like,
I think so.
Hey, these superstars all have to be, they got to have at least one more. Like, we can't completely alienate John Tavares, who, is a good net front presence, but can't actually get himself in front of a goaltender and take away his eyes. Like, if it's just Matthew Nyes and Matthew Nyes has an opportunity to do the things you need in front of the net, maybe that changes the look for three immensely talented players who just can't seem to find each other right now.
I love Nyes as of late. He's been like one of the most consistent Maple Leafs, in my opinion. I love how he plays. He is tough to move in front of the net. He does that job really well. Not that Tavares isn't, but he's just a different body.
A little bit more force.
Different guy.
Maybe a little bit more courage standing in there when shots are coming
Something
in.
to prove. Still a young guy. Anyway, we'll get into some of the lines, some of the changes, but looks like it won't be Nick Robertson in the lineup today. In my last check, I don't know if they're pregame skate right now, so we should know for sure. But Craig Berube was talking about it, and he said, he's been fine. I think Nicky's worked extremely hard, but he obviously hasn't had much puck luck, and some missed shots and stuff like that. I think he's done a lot of good things, but with it being Winnipeg, a pretty big team, you want some size in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, tough break for him. I mean, if there was a big change to the power play and you get equal minutes across two different units, you'd think he'd be a major part of at least one of those units, given that Nick Robertson is a guy who can put the puck in the net. But yeah, it's whole scale changes here for the Maple Leafs in terms of their lineup, power play changes, but also, the entire middle six and changes to the fourth line as well. That first line of Matthews and Marner does stay the same with Matthew Nyes, but Robertson comes out, Holmberg in with Domi and McCann, so more of a traditional third line. And there it is again. John Tavares and William Nylander on the second line with Max Pacioretty, while the fourth line will feature Camp Lawrence and Ryan Reeves. So I guess a heavier lineup tonight without Nick Robertson, but still one that is worth scrutinizing, I think. I mean, Domi, McMahon, and Holmberg does not sound like a line that can do some obvious damage in any real way for me. Like, where's the utility there? I'm not really sure. It feels like, hey, it's not working right now for William Nylander's had a couple tough nights. So throw him back there with John Tavares and see if something sticks.
Yeah, I don't really like it that much.
I don't either. I mean, we could say it with the power play and the lineup. Like, I just feel if you're going to actually shake things up, Marner and Matthews can be separated for 1 minute. Like, just a shift, a period,
it
a
feels
game,
like they
a
can't,
stretch.
Justin.
I know it does feel like
Which
that.
is crazy.
And last year, with Domi, Austin Matthews on a top line when Mitch Marner was not available, they were great. And it all worked. And then pieces came together, and you actually found jobs and responsibilities for guys who had been kind of languishing at the depths of the lineup. At some point, if it's not working and they're not just getting screamed at on the bench, Matthews and Marner, like, that's the change that might actually bring a different look. It's just window dressing, it seems, if not that.
On the back end, it'll be Riley and OEL, McCabe, who signed a extension. We'll get into that on the other side. And Tanev and Benoit and Timmins. So no Timothy Liljegren. And Stolar's getting the start tonight. I think that one makes a lot of sense. That's the best move of the lineup tonight. Anthony Stolarz.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
We'll take a quick break then. We'll come back and we'll tee up the rest of our big keys to victory and our players to watch. And we'll have another 10 minutes or so to get you set for Leafs and Jets. It's going to be a big one. Undefeated Jets and the Leafs looking for a win. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be back on Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of. Like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
What's up? What's up, insiders? Good to see everybody. Sorry, I hope I didn't break your eardrums there. But Jeff, Tony V, Michael Kirkpatrick, Don Donaldson, welcome to Insider. Cheers, Don. Appreciate you joining up as a member. Let's see those awesome emojis. And what's up to the crew? Man, that started a while back there, Joffrey. A while back. Stefan, Roboto, all the bees. I love it. We got the bees in the house. Where's Anthony? Anthony's in here. I thought I saw him. Leaf Fan King in the house as well. There's Mushroom Merchant. Good to see you, Mushroom. All right. There you go. I told you I was going to open with this one. Look, I got to add the new member to the list here. Oh, God, there's a super chat. I love it. Roll 6 of 6 dice with the $5 super chat. Give it the like. Thank you. What's up? All right, that's enough of that. I'm going to lose my voice again. It's finally getting better. All right. Don't forget, guys, hit that like button if you haven't done so already. We already have 400 in the chat. We got 70 likes. Hit that like button right now. Let's get back to the Leafs pregame. Puck drop should be any minute. I'm going to start the Raptors live, and then we'll be back here in the chat in a few minutes. Go, Leafs, go. Cheers, bees. Cheers, insiders.
Up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Michael Bunting of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You've always had the great ability to play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, you know, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
From in the crease to in the locker room.
Flyers defenseman Travis Sanheim.
Is it a rebuild type thing? Is it definitely a playoff team in your mind?
I think last season, I don't know if anyone in our room was saying rebuild. We thought that we could surprise some teams, and I think we did that. A lot of guys that are coming back, and then obviously adding Meat Scott's going to be huge. So, we're looking forward to getting started and seeing if we can build off of last season.
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
This is Molson Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. It is the 8-0 Jets in the 4-4-1 Leafs on a 3-game losing streak tonight. Something's got to give, or maybe status quo.
Yeah, a bit of a skid for the Maple Leafs. Nothing has to change. It could be the status quo. I mean, in all likelihood, the Jets would be feeling good about themselves. If one team is going to be feeling better about themselves coming into this game, it would surely be the Winnipeg Jets on quite the ride to start the season. And the Maple Leafs maybe doing some introspection, looking at themselves, looking inward, trying to figure out how this is all going to work after it looked so great last Monday night.
Just
Prime
7 days ago, we were like, this
so
team
quickly.
is amazing.
Exactly. There's been one really good demonstration of what life should look like with Craig Berube, and since then it's been 3 pretty mediocre at best, at least on aggregate games for the Maple Leafs.
All right, so let's take a look at our key to victory, brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game, lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com. Justin, what's the key to victory tonight?
I think it's to come out swinging. This Jets team, as mentioned, has been riding a wave. They feel unbelievably good about themselves and what they're doing from a 5-on-5 perspective, the run of play, the power play, the special teams, everything that they're doing is working.
They're
so
perfect.
You have to shake some of that confidence, I think, if you're the Maple Leafs. Just positive things right away. Shots on goal, hits, goals would be great. Stack shifts. We talked, Craig Berube talking about, hey, how can we roll shifts over, play in the offensive zone for extended periods? If you just make them feel less good about themselves, maybe that has a beneficial effect. Just make them feel different, because right now the Jets are producing and exuding nothing but confidence and optimism what they're all about.
Yeah, and this is a game that I'm sure the Jets had circled regardless, but they haven't been too historically great against the Maple Leafs in the last little stretch. At least they've had their number. So if you're finding an opportunity for the Leafs to feel good about an opponent that's 8-0-0, maybe it's just that you've beat the Jets a few times in recent history. And this is a game that I think that the fan bases might be like pretty split in Winnipeg. I think there's some Leaf fans that travel out to Winnipeg to watch this one, but it'll be a pretty rowdy crowd. I usually think that these games have like a more of a physical edge when they do play the Jets. Like so it could be a little feisty out there tonight. How about
dating back to Austin Matthews versus Patrick Laine and the debate over what player was ultimately going to be better. There's always been a little extra spice to these games. We've seen Jason Spezza act out of turn, getting the first and only real major suspension on a knee on Neil Pionk. Like, there's been some wacky things when these two teams get together, fights, hits, goals, drama. It seems like the Jets and Maple Leafs always produce an entertaining show. Hopefully they will do that tonight. Let's get to the player to watch, presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca. Ailish, who do you have your eye on tonight?
The captain, Austin Matthews, and for a few reasons. I think if you're a team looking to get out of a slump, you look at your leaders, you look at your captains, you look at the best players on your team, and that's Austin Matthews. I also think that the last memories of him being on the ice on Saturday night with that giveaway against the Boston Bruins. I don't think you're sleeping well after that. I think you're circling that one as a play that you want back. That's something that you let your team down. He said so himself. So I think he comes shot out of a cannon tonight. I like him for first goal of the game at plus 425. I like him for anytime goal minus 120. And then if you want to get greedy, 2+ goals plus 450 as well. I just think if they're going to win this game, it might be on the backs of their stars. And that is Austin Matthews, specifically with just the bad taste in your mouth about how the way the Boston Bruins game went. I think Matthews has to come out big tonight. And we were looking at his splits against Winnipeg, and he's traditionally been really great against his team. And I did pull up just to see the record against the Jets against the Leafs. The Jets are 6-11-3 in their last 20 against the Leafs. They've lost the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's what I was talking about in terms of like it being a bit of a game circled for both teams. But I think Austin Matthews is going to want to erase the feeling that he had on Saturday night quite quickly.
Yeah, it's been an uneven start to the season for Austin Matthews. A bit of a slow start, then we see some of that explosive goal scoring. We see a dramatic moment, and we see it followed up by a really, really big mistake, maybe his biggest on the season. So, yeah, the new captain still trying to find his way, at least in terms of that role, I imagine, but still trying to get back to what he has been over the course of the last few regular season, which is a consistently dominant goal scorer. Austin Matthews' response tonight would not be surprising to me.
Okay, my player to watch in terms of motivation, though, is Jake McCabe. He signed an extension today at 5 years for $451 with Toronto, $4.51 million. When I think he took a discount, I think he could have gotten more on the open market. I think if he was a free agent, he would have. And I think it's just a great indicator this guy wants to stay here. They're locking up their decor. They're locking up some of their future in general. So I love the Jake McCabe extension. I think it's well-deserved and glad that they got that one done while they could. And I'm going to be watching how he performs tonight because it's got a little motivation, a little money.
Yeah. I mean, this is a deal you do 100 times out of 100.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that, it was reported even maybe a month ago, or I guess a couple weeks ago, that but there might be something there, and then you get to worrying about it. Like, what's holding this up? Like, is there some second thoughts?
They were waiting for a
Does
bad
he want
news
too
week?
much? Maybe that is the key, but this feels like there was almost no fight in the McCabe camp to get this done, because 4.51 I think is a massive, massive bargain and a really nice deal for Brad Treliving to keep this defensive core at least on the upward trajectory that we believe that it is. I mean, he picked it up in somewhat ruins. Of course, he inherited Jake McCabe with a really nice deal, mind you, that was cut in half in his original acquisition by Kyle Dubas. But this is a really important player for this defensive core. He's kind of the anchor in the middle of everything. No, he's not the top pairing defenseman, at least in terms of the guy who's going to be making a lot of money and driving play and doing all the things that number one defensemen do. But in terms of a guy who's going to log heavy minutes, stabilize another talented D-man, for the most part this season, it's been Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Jake McCabe is kind of the anchor of everything that's happening. If he's your fourth defenseman, 4.51 is really good. If he's your fifth, which may be possible by the end, I still think it's palatable. I think Jake McCabe is a really, really important part of this blue line, and that they were able to get this done is a really, really good thing for the Treliving camp.
Yeah, he's tough to play against. He is like a steady two-way defenseman, penalty killer. I've really been impressed with how he's also played now with the addition of Tanev and OEL. Everyone feels like properly slotted. And I think there's some deferred money in the contract as well. Like, he's doing this to want to be a Leaf, maybe to help the Leafs lower the cap as well to 4.51. Leaving some table on the money on the table is a great sign. Maybe it's the culture change that they needed.
Look at you. Look at you.
Optimistic?
I mean, it's going to take more than just the couple $100,000 to $1 million Jake McCabe potentially left on the table to materially change things from a cap perspective. But yeah, you'd love to see more of this. You'd love to see more players maybe forgo the opportunity to have a full auction go off for them and go to the highest bidder. Maybe this is part of the culture change, but it feels unlikely with the higher end. How do you feel about the very, very lockdown type defensive pairing that he and Chris Tanev have formed here recently?
That's a playoff pairing.
That's a playoff pairing. I don't know what it does for the rest of the pairings, but McCabe
that
and
one
Tanev,
is a primetime playoff pairing. I love it.
It definitely screams shutdown.
Yeah. No one is getting by us or through us on that one. We're going to block every shot as well. So Stolars, if you're a net and McCabe and Tanev are out there, you probably won't see a puck. No, I like it. I think we know should work in the playoffs. I don't know if we need to see it for all 82 games, and maybe it leaves the other two lines a little bit more like offensively. Like Riley and OEL is that's more offensively minded.
Sure.
But I like McCabe and Tanev. I think they are very similar in a sense of like they're shut down, stay at home type tough defensemen. So I don't know how long these lines are going to stick for.
No, it definitely doesn't seem like it. Not that it's like the last offering you'd expect necessarily, but it's definitely not very balanced in terms of skill sets, at least in the top four. Riley and OEL, though, I will say it's probably a credit to Oliver Ekman-Larsson that he's been able to show an ability to be very, very reliable defensively, to put himself in a position where, you could log some minutes with Morgan Riley. Not to say Morgan Riley is totally undisciplined and not reliable himself, but Oliver Ekman-Larsson has been unbelievably stable to start, and his stability is something that may work in the end with Morgan Riley, who has leaned on stability to be at his best before. So I am intrigued by Riley, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, but the way it was all organized, I'm not sure, at least on first blush, that it makes all the sense in the world moving forward.
And we mentioned it earlier in the pregame show. Looks like the Leafs have switched up some of their power play lines. It's fourth worst in the league, so good to make some changes. PP1 will be Riley, Marner, Matthews, Pacioretty, and Nyes. PP2, OEL, Nylander, Domi, McMahon, and Tavares. And they're facing the Jets, who have the best PP in the league, 43%, a team that's really firing there. Not sustainable, but still a threat. And, of course, on the PK, still with great numbers, too, 87.5. So special teams might be the story of tonight's game if the Leafs can fix theirs, and maybe the Winnipeg Jets fall down a little bit to earth with theirs. We'll see.
Very quickly, this is a Leafs pregame show, and they're facing the Jets, but in Edmonton, we'll be tracking this on the out-of-town scoreboard. Connor McDavid left tonight's game, will not return versus the Columbus Blue Jackets, so maybe we'll have an update over the course of tonight's broadcast.
All right, we will take a quick break and send it to Jim Ralph and Joe Bowen, who will have the call. The first period next. It's Leafs and Jets. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hear every game of the World Series on Sirius XM.
Shohei Ohtani unloads.
Listen to the Dodgers on your radio on Sirius 210 XM 177.
A Stantonian home run.
The Yankees could be heard on Sirius 208 and XM 175.
Miguel Hernandez has done it again in the postseason.
The national broadcast is on ESPN Radio Channel 80, and you can take the World Series wherever you go by listening on the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the...
Hey, hockey fans. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Have you hit that like button yet? Please hit that like button down below so we can get more hockey fans here in the chat and keep growing this awesome Toronto sports community. As well, please share the link out. Hit that thumbs up, click the little share arrow, send it to your favorite social media platform, send it out to any of the sports boards. The more people that click the link when it is shared on the internet and come over to YouTube, that's what YouTube wants. Let's give YouTube what they want. Let's share this link out. Let's get more Leafs fans in here. Thank you, Leafs Nation. Go Leafs, go. Let's get back to the hockey.
NHL Morning Skate.
Michael Bunting of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You've always had the great ability to play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Kochetkov making that jump last year. What do you see in the net?
The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. But we still got Freddie in here. I think he's got something to prove. So I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
From in the crease to in the locker room.
Flyers defenseman Travis Sanheim.
Is it a rebuild type thing? Is it definitely a playoff team in your mind?
I think last season, I don't know if anyone in our room was saying rebuild. We thought that we could surprise some teams, and I think we did that. A lot of guys that are coming back, and then obviously adding Meat Scott's going to be huge. So, we're looking forward to getting started and seeing if we can build off of last season.
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Tangle with the Jets at Canada Life Center. We've got the action for you and the roads of the Rope Rotundas brought to you by Molson. Molson, everyone in. Anthony Stolars gets the call for the Leafs. Is 3-2-1 with a 2.19 goals against average, 0-1-0 lifetime against the Jets. And Connor Hellebuck, the workman for the Jets, he is 6-0-0, 1.66, 940 save percentage. But he's 7-9-3 lifetime against the Maple Leafs. The Leafs are going to wear my favorite black jerseys with the, well, never mind, the thing. So we'll give us a little bit of a break here as the Leafs will tangle with the Winnipeg Jets. And the Jets are letter perfect. They have had a tremendous start to this season as they are undefeated. 10-0 would be the record to tie. The puck is dropped. We're underway. The Leafs to the left and the Jets to the right. Tanev skates it around back of his own goal, then stops up, looks back at the net to his defense partner. Jake McCabe trying to play it up the boards. His wallet is a little heavier today after signing a nice extension. And Tanev now backhanding the puck out at center ice and down into the Jet zone, but it's going to be an icing call.
Well, the 8 wins that the Winnipeg Jets have so far, 3 of them have come in overtime. And it's amazing how if they're 5-0-3, you're saying they're, they haven't lost in regulation yet, but it's amazing what success playing 3-on-3 in overtime is going to do to the overall record. And you mentioned Connor Hellebuck. The last 7 seasons, Joe, 5 of them he's played over 60 games. The other 2 were COVID-shortened seasons that he was on pace for 65 to 66 over a full season.
So a pretty good contract, right? I mean, when you think about it.
Yeah, Mark Scheifele and Connor Hellebuck signed the exact same contracts. And this is the first year of those deals, 7-year contracts, $59.5 million over 7 years.
And they were drafted, played, signed, re-signed, and now long-termed by the Winnipeg Jets. So that was a huge thing for the franchise in trying to, never mind attract free agents, keep their own players. And these 2 guys have bought in, and they're certainly paying dividends here as we get another stoppage as the puck goes into the Toronto bench. The referee, go ahead, Jim.
Go ahead, Joey.
Cody Beach and Trevor Hansen are the referees. Michel Cormier and Ryan Jackson are the linesmen.
When Igor Shesterkin talking about the contract negotiations with the Rangers, do you not think the Rangers are saying, wait a minute, Connor Hellebuck's making less than 9?
Yep. Shot in now by the Jets. It goes around the boards, cleared back into the corner, cut off by Niederreiter. He couldn't get it in front, but the Jets get it back to the point. They go D to D with a wrist shot coming on the right wing side. Sharp angle shot is stopped by Stolars, and the Maple Leafs Marner playing it around back of the net. Some shaking up of the lines. The number 1 line remains the same. Tavares moving up, Domi moving back. As a long shoot-in is deflected wide of the net by Stolars, and now here's Marner coming out of his own zone. Marner slowly to the red line. Launches it high into the right wing corner. Nye slow to get there. Marner hustles in on the forecheck. And a sharp angle shot by the defense went wide. Kept in, and now another drive is kicked away there nicely by Hellebuck. Domi into the forecheck. Unable to get to it. Going back is Benoit to get it to his defense partner, who plays it around back of the net. Connor Timmins then gets it out to Domi, and Domi gets it up on the wing, and it's going to be backhanded high into the center ice area, and a glove pass will be whistled down. Play will be brought back.
You could even call closing your hand on the puck there, couldn't you? Because it was grabbed and then tossed out of the zone. I know it might not be a popular call, but I think, if you went by the letter of the call, that this would be a Leaf power play. Now, we're hearing in the background maybe an announcement. You might be right here, Mr. Ralph. Well, we're not getting anything on our screen as yet. Sandberg was the Winnipeg player. Yeah, he grabbed it and then threw it. Yep. And it is a power play. Yeah. Okay, so the Leafs are on the power play, and this is an area of major concern. Matthews to the point. Marner works down the right wing, looks for a shot and a deflection in front. Nyes didn't get a stick on it. Matthews is able to keep it in. Marner will track it down on the near boards. Back into the slot area. One-touch pass by Pacioretty comes back to Marner. Marner over to Matthews. Matthews with a shot. Hellebuck to save the rebound. Went right through the goal crease, and Nyes couldn't get his stick on it. Another shot from the point, and Hellebuck is able to cover that up as Morgan Riley let it go. Well, different look, and Willie Nylander is done on the number one unit, Max Pacioretty. And Matthew Nyes are out in place of John Tavares and Willie Nylander. What you like about this, though, Joe? Matthew Nyes goes right to the front of the net. First unit staying out, 1:26 to go in the power play. Draw one by Toronto. Marner on the near half boards. Got it in along the boards. Matthews gives it back to him. They exchange it again. Centering pass this time. Ripped wide of the goal by Morgan Riley. And the Jets are going to get it ahead. And Miller starts a rush down the boards. And a pass in front of the net was knocked away by Stolarz. And now the Leafs have an odd man rush going the other way. But it's knocked out of the air. Then just kept in, but it goes out of play. Matthews got there to keep it in. The Jets penalty killer lost his stick and so was late getting out of the offensive zone, and the Leafs couldn't take advantage of it. And the puck out of play, and so there'll be a face-off and a change of players. Boy, the Winnipeg Jets already one shorthanded goal on the season. And we've talked about the last three games now, the chances on the rush that the Leafs have given up. When you go from the first 6 games to the last 3, it's almost double in the last 3 games. Second unit on. Oliver Ekman-Larsson dropping it back. Domi comes to center to Nylander on the right wing. Back to Max. He gets it in across the line on the left wing. Stopping it up and sending it back, Bobby McMahon. Dished off on the far side. Nylander gets it back to Ekman-Larsson. Ekman-Larsson to the near side. And a shot by Tavares was stopped by Hellebuck. Back into the far corner. Nylander out of the corner. Couldn't get it into the slot. And the Jets are going to clear and get it down into the Leaf end. 20 seconds left, but the Leafs have had 3 shots on goal on this power play. A little more desperation, it seems, doesn't it? Nylander through the neutral zone. In on the right wing. Trying to get it back to him, but it was cut off and shot down the ice. And that has been the problem, the entries. Penalty is over. McCabe starts out of his own end. And the Leafs 10% on the power play, which is the lowest in the history of the Austin Matthews era in Toronto. Leafs into the forecheck. Trying to get it freed up as Lorenz back to the point. Tanev gets a return pass and the shot at the net. That was deflected off Hellebuck. Tanev again. Another shot into the chest of Hellebuck. And you can certainly see that in bold print on the board in the dressing room. Get the damn puck to the net, I think was possibly put there. I don't think the word was damn.
So what you're saying, it was elongated a little?
Sure.
One more syllable?
No. I think
two more syllables.
I think it was one syllable. but I
First word.
I agree.
2 syllables.
I agree with the sentiment, though.
Yeah, I think some of the hockey lingo might have been utilized.
Well, we grew up around locker rooms.
Yes, we did. Played by Niederreiter now into the Toronto zone. Around back of the net. No, Jets player trying to get to the net. Crashed into the end boards. Marner across the line to Nyes. Nyes, a blind behind the back pass, which is something that I'm sure was not on the blackboard. But now the Jets have sent the puck down the ice, and there's an icing call. Toronto starting quickly. They've had 7 shots on goal to 1 for the Jets in the first 5 minutes and 3 seconds.
What's scary about this 8-game winning streak to start the season for the Jets, they gave up the first goal in 6 of them. You know, usually that's
the depth now. Yeah, exactly.
That's a huge stat. But obviously it's their power play that's been carrying them. Actually 5-on-5. Leafs and Jets are the same. They're both +3 in goals 5-on-5.
It's the Jets' power play that has been just scintillating.
Yeah, 5-on-5 Jets, 17 scored, 14 against. Leafs 20 goals scored, 17 goals against.
Leafs win the faceoff for the second time, and for the second time, it's blowing dead, and they'll do it all over again. Have I mentioned how much I hate these black jerseys?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. I'll save next period.
The hard ones, we talked about this too. Same as the New York Rangers, that double border on the numbers.
Well, since the numbers aren't colored in here, it makes it very difficult to ascertain at times who has the puck. Timmins getting it ahead. Nylander on the right wing, sending it in over the line. Tavares into the forecheck, but the Jets will circle back, and blowing a tire was Colin Miller, but his defense partner able to get it out and into neutral ice. Leafs with it again. Timmins sends it back. Quickly Benoit up on the wing and down into the Jet zone it will go. Hustling in after it, Nylander, but he was taken off the puck there by Logan Stanley. Leafs were able to keep it in, but Stanley has it. He'll get it out into the center ice area, and here's Connors getting across the line. Scheifele dropping it back for him. Kyle Connors working into the corner, gets it back to the point. A collision in front of the net. 2 players down, but back on their skates now. But here are the Jets getting it back to the point. Kept alive by Scheifele. Along the boards, defenseman Sandberg getting it in around back of the net. Velarde trying to work back of the goal for the Jets. Can't come up with it. Comes back to the point. Fed over then by Sandberg to the far point. Long shot was well wide. And off the boards, it's going to be chipped to the line, but not out. Not getting enough of it there was Nylander. Nylander gets another opportunity on the near boards, and now this time is going to skate the puck out at center and get it to the red line, and with the assistance of Bobby McMahon, send it deep into Winnipeg territory. Coming up on 7 minutes played, no score. The Jets and the Maple Leafs. Coming out of his zone. Barron plays it down into the Toronto end. It bounces towards the net, and Anthony Stolarz will cover up on it and bring a face-off in the Toronto zone with 13:09 left to play in period number 1. The Leafs nothing and the Jets nothing. And you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Comedy Central Radio brings you the biggest names in comedy. All day long, you'll hear the best stand-up comedy from Comedy Central's massive library.
If you ever ask an adult what they did over the weekend and they say they didn't do anything, their faces light up.
Every weeknight, you'll hear 2 half hours of comedy for your drive home.
The other day, I got jealous of a dog's thigh gap. I'm not proud of that.
Comedy Central Radio, Sirius XM 95. Your home for incredible stand-up comedy. Search comedy on the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me.
All right, hockey fans, we're at the first TV timeout of the day. Big shout out. I got the list updated now that I've got all of these live started. The Raptors and the World Series game both running on TSI. So if you get bored during one of the intermissions, go hang out in the baseball game, the World Series game, or the Raptors game. Roll 6 of 6 dice. Thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. What's up? I love it. Absolutely awesome. As well, Don Donaldson. Thank you so much, Don, for joining as an insider. I love those emojis. They just add so much to the chat, don't they? That's why I make it 99 cents, guys. It's not about the money. I don't care about that. I don't want... It's literally as low as possible so that we can have more fun here in the chat, cheering on our Leafs. Go, Leafs, go. So let's get back to the hockey. Thank you all for being here. We'll see you guys in a few minutes.
Area at Bet365 must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca.
Leafs actually have a 5-game winning streak on the line here against the Winnipeg Jets. You may remember last year, Ilya Samsonov, after having to take a break, made his comeback. The Leafs won in Seattle, and then Samsonov was brilliant in a 1-0 overtime win at home. And a few days later, a 4-1 win in Winnipeg against the Jets.
Jets send it down into the Toronto zone. Against the boards, it comes to the side of the net. Timmins got it up on the wing, gets it handed back. Tried to make a pass, but was knocked down. Jets at the side of the goal have it come in front, and it's cleared back to the blue line, but kept in. Stanley then had it knocked off his stick as it comes to center ice. Oliver Ekman-Larsson gives it off, and the puck is stolen as Benoit got caught napping from behind. Now he blocks the centering pass, fed around the boards by Josh Morrissey to the far side, back into the corner, back of the net, trying to dig it free was Christopher Tanev. Tanev against the boards, trying to dig it out. It might have been Tanev and not Benoit who coughed that puck up. And now it's up against the wall, back of the goal, and still free. Now finally dug out. Nemesnikov gets it back to the point. Left wing shot in traffic, and that just did get Stollers on the shoulder. Leafs are going to try this again. Long pass up at center is cleared in over the line. Matthews centers in front of the goal, knocked away, still free. Banging away at it now is Nyes, and the puck goes free to the far boards. Marner in front for Nyes, and a fast shot there, whistled wide of the goal. Matthews to the point, another long shot. That struck a Jet in front of the net, and he is down and hurt as the puck goes back into the Toronto zone, and that was broken up in front of the Leaf goal. Nylander back at center. Pass over the line, but behind its intended receiver, Pacioretty, and it turns into an offside, and it will come back.
Well, after the game against the Boston Bruins, Craig Berube said, "We're close, but we're not there yet," saying that there were things that the Leafs needed to improve on, and this certainly a much better start than we saw in Boston on Saturday night. 11:11 to go in the opening period, and the Leafs out shooting the Winnipeg Jets by a count of 9-2.
Boy, you know what? There were 4 shots in that scramble.
Yep.
Just a few seconds ago, and I think they might add to that total once the sharp-eyed boys from
review it
from the league, brought out by Ehlers to center for Winnipeg. On the right side, Pionk got tangled up and lost the puck. It's cleared back into Winnipeg territory, but Stanley is there, and he's going to play it up. Now he makes a pass that is intercepted. The Leafs get it back in over the line. Tavares getting it back to the point. Another shot coming that is blocked. Tavares gets it into the slot, now sends it towards the net, but it was deflected harmlessly wide of the goal, and Ehlers now trying to get it out of the zone, gets it to center. Lots of players changing, brought in now by Bobby McMahon. Another shot on goal is stopped by Hellebuck. Maybe they're trying to get him exhausted by the third period because they're throwing everything they can at the net. Leafs with it again in their own zone. McMahon banks it out at center. No one there. And the Jets play it back into neutral ice. And up on the left wing now for Connor. Kyle Connor rolling it towards the net. Scooped aside by Stollers. The puck comes along the boards and back along to the blue line and dug out by Pontus Holmberg, who got it out over the line, but now is in a battle right at the blue line as Morgan Riley finds Timmins, and the Leafs get it to center. Brought in on the left wing, flipped in over the line. Holmberg taken to the boards, trying to get in there after it and being unsuccessful. And now here is the Jets getting it back out into neutral ice and sending it down into the Toronto end. Benoit takes his man to the boards, allowing David Camp access to the disc along the near side, but he gets tangled up with a forechecker until Timmins is there to take it away and help out. Timmins back up ahead for Camp. Camp works down the right wing and in. Rolling puck, an easy save for Hellebuck, and a cover to stop play and bring a face-off in Winnipeg territory when we return. There is no score in the hockey game. The Leafs and the Winnipeg Jets. And you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure with Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency and free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down.
What's up, hockey fans? How we doing tonight? The Leafs head to Winnipeg to take on the Jets. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Have you hit that subscribe button yet? I'm not sure. If you haven't, please hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell so you don't miss when we go live for every single Maple Leafs game this season. And a heck of a lot of other sports action. Hell, we're live right now for the Raptors game, as well as Game 3 of the World Series. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. Let's get back to the hockey. Cheers to all of you insiders tonight and the ones that have been joining since we started this just over a year ago. Thank you so much. Go Leafs, go!
Walk-off, it's 5. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Long shot, deflects in front of the goal. They backhand it into the net.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
So the Maple Leafs and the Jets are scoreless here in the first period.
Shots 11-2, favoring the Leafs. Hunter Hellebuck, by the way, since 2015-16. I'll give you the stat in a sec.
All right. Far side, Marner dragging the puck along the boards and now back at the net. Nyes gets it to Matthews. He tried to stuff it in on the short side. That was stopped by Hellebuck. Marner after it again, but the puck goes free to Neil Pionk, and Pionk gets it ahead, and Lowry comes to center. Lowry in on the left wing. Tries to center, blocked there by the paddle down play of Stolars, and the Leafs are now breaking it out at center ice with a pass to Marner. Marner wanting to get a change of players started. Backpedals into his own zone. Now comes up on the wing. He's going to wind it around the boards, but it'll be cut off by Pionk on the far side. But quickly onto it there is Tavares. Stolen back by the Maple Leafs. Sent into the slot area. Bouncing disc is cleared off a skate, but not out. Leafs keep it in on the right side. Hannah dropping it back, and a shot blocked in front of the net. Rolls in front, they score. Tavares taps it home. It is as ugly a goal as you can get, but it is exactly what the Maple Leafs have been working on.
12th shot. To me, the beauty of this goal, Joe, is how this play starts. Mitch Marner dumps it into the Winnipeg zone, and the Leafs go back after it and start winning the battles that they've been losing the last 3 or 4 games. And Max Pacioretty is going to pick up his first assist for the Leafs as he one-hands a loose puck that is to the left of Hellebuck, just one-hands it across the top of the crease to Tavares, who tips it in. And for John Tavares, that is goal number 3 on the season.
Just the way you drew it up.
We talked about that.
Tic-tac-toe.
But we did talk about that early on in the season, how they were scoring ugly.
Here's a chance now for Tavares again. Oh, and he rattled it off the shoulder of Hellebuck. Tavares around back of the goal. The Leafs are buzzing. Back to the blue line it comes. Passed into the near corner, and the Jets will get control of it, and Morrissey gets it out at center ice. Namestnikov tied up again on the boards. Leafs punch it across the blue line, but just across, and changes coming here for both teams as the Jets are able to stretch things out. Brought to center ice by Scheifele. He had it taken away. Quickly back the other way for the Maple Leafs. David Kampf, a backhand, rolling puck in front. And a penalty coming here, I believe. The Leaf player driving the net got knocked down from behind by Logan Stanley. And I believe the Leafs are going to go to their second power play opportunity of the game.
Is it DeMello going to go for interference?
I thought it was Stanley who did it, to be honest
that's what
with
the
you.
call was. I'm actually just going by the screen here.
Yeah, they haven't shown us the replay of the penalty to find out exactly who it was. Oh, and it is.
Yeah,
I had it right. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I didn't hear you say you're right. Anyway, the Leafs are on the power play. Centering pass knocked high into the air and around the boards. It's going to be set out and down the ice by Winnipeg.
I'm just looking. I'm seeing something and I don't know what it means.
I don't either.
Different color.
Brought out at center ice now by Marner. Hits the line, but in early on the right wing was Nyes. Marner made an extra move just to try to avoid one of the defensemen standing up at the blue line. And so it'll be brought back. And there'll be a face-off coming in the neutral zone as a result. And a minute 30 to go in the power play as Stanley has taken both penalties here for the Winnipeg Jets.
And if you just joined us, second power play for the Leafs. Riley, Nyes, Marner, Matthews, and Pacioretty, the number one unit. Nylander and Tavares have gone to the second unit. Nick Robertson, by the way, not in the lineup tonight. A healthy scratch for the first time this year.
Pacioretty and Matthews against the boards. The puck comes back to the point. Riley is able to keep it in. Now to Marner. Drop pass for Riley. Left wing side. And a wrist shot is blocked in front of the net as Matthews stepped into that one. Now Marner trapping a loose puck on the near boards. Feeds it back to the blue line. Morgan Riley. Back off a skate. Riley trying to keep it alive, but the Jets get a hold of it and launch it out and down the ice it goes. 16-4. The shots favoring Toronto. With 6 minutes left here in the first period. And a 1-0 Toronto advantage. Nylander in for Tavares. Tavares works the boards. Willie goes around back of the net. Nylander to the far half boards into the slot area. Ekman Larsson to Tavares. His pass into the corner. Trying to free it up. It comes off a stick. And breaking out at center ice is Connor. He couldn't get across the line. And then it's offside by 112 inches.
Boy, I mean, when Winnipeg's lucky that it was an offside because the Leafs would have had numbers going back the other way. Kyle Connor, by the way, has the only shorthanded goal for the Jets so far this season. Coming into this game, they'd killed off 14 of 16 and are 1 for 1 already tonight.
And the Leafs power play woes continue, but it has looked better. All right, so times it's semantics, but it has developed chances. It has developed shots at the net. Now Scheifele gives the puck away, played around the boards, and no one there to keep it in because the penalty box door had opened, and Stanley was coming out, and Timmins had to elude. Now back comes Barron in with a shot that was kicked away by Stolarz, and the Leafs are going to launch it high into the center ice area.
Well, that was Stolar's most difficult save so far this game.
Ehlers comes back the other way. That was off Morgan Barron. Intercept by the Leafs. Flipped high into the Winnipeg end. Hustling in after it was Reeves. Reeves and Lorenz onto the forecheck. Reeves, the Winnipeg native, gets a pretty good hit there. And the puck comes down to the Leaf zone where it's quickly spun out. And Lorenz will get to the red line. And his job, get it right back in there and start banging bodies. Down the boards, the Leafs try to keep the puck in. It is off a skate. Reeves gives the puck away, though, and a shot is deflected off the stick of Tanev and up into the screen and out of play. Ryan Reeves was trying to get it back to Tanev, but he kind of feathered the pass, and it was picked off, and the Leafs were in a little bit of trouble there as a good save by Stolarz off Barron to keep the score at 1-0. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Now through November 1st, SiriusXM is giving away a pair of tickets to every MLB postseason game through the World Series. Listen to MLB Network Radio for the clues and be the first caller to correctly name the postseason hero, and you'll receive a pair of tickets to an MLB post.
What's up, Insiders? All right, we're almost done with the first period. We almost have 1,000 people in the chat. 296 likes. Come on, y'all. Hit that like button. Let's get over 300, and let's get more people in here. Let's get over 1,000 in the chat. We're having fun. Arnold Hamilton, good to see you, Arnold. It's been a while, man. Cheers. All right, we got Christine as well, chatting it up. I love it. Joffrey, what do you think, Joffrey? First period, not bad. JT gets the goal. We're up. I'm happy right now. I'm okay with it. I don't know. How you guys feeling out there? Let me know in the chat. And cheers to all of you for hanging out with us. The family's home, and the hockey is back on the TV in front of me. See, there's the screaming already. See you guys back in the chat. Go Leafs, go!
World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
The best hockey lives here.
Martins gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Joe Bowen along with Jim Ralph as the Maple Leafs have a 1-0 lead in a dominant first period against the undefeated and untied and, well, there aren't any, undefeated Winnipeg Jets.
But there have been a couple of moments like the Reeves giveaway that you're saying, boy, that's the stuff that's crept into the game the last 3 or 4.
Sitting down rather nicely on the puck was the Winnipeg forward. And it was finally dug free, and the Leafs were able to get it down into the Jets' end. Played up on the boards, out to the blue line, still in the Winnipeg end of the rink. Leafs get it freed up and take a shot that is blockered into the corner by Hellebuck. And now stolen again, and a wraparound attempt by McMahon went wide and now is cleared high to center ice. Benoit getting some assistance from Domi to get it around back of the net. Quickly played by Connor Timmins out into the center ice area. A rink-wide pass finds Benoit, and he'll shoot it in before heading to the bench. 3:15 to play in period number 1. And a John Tavares goal has the Leafs out in front 1-0. Played around the boards to the near wing. Nyes bodied but makes a nice outlet to Matthews. Matthews with Marner, who takes his pass. Works into the corner. Slid it back along. Got it returned. Sends it in front of the net. That went off a stick and wide. But Nyes onto it now on the near boards. Trying to work the wall there. The puck comes free. Marner looking for a man. Still has it. Twists and turns into the corner. It goes swept in front and blocked as Matthews tried to center there for Nyes. Marner against the boards, loses it. Kept it at the point, though. Ekman-Larsson's shot is deflected wide. Nyes in the left wing corner. Trying to find Matthews in front. Gives to Marner, and as he tried to get it back to one of the defensemen, it went right between the two. Now back in for Marner, but they're going to call this offside. And so play is whistled down with 2:24 to go, but another good shift by the Maple Leafs first line.
And this is obviously a game for the Winnipeg Jets. We've already said that they've given up the first goal in 6 of the 8 games they've played this year in this perfect 8-0 start. But they have simply just come out flat here to start this game. As we mentioned, the shot's now 17-6 favoring the Maple Leafs.
Puck in back of the net, centered in front, they score! Nylander got a gift in front of the net. He was unmarked, and a great feed in front of the goal made by Max Pacioretty, who picks up another assist, and the Leafs have a warranted 2-0 lead.
Take a look at the replay now. The Leafs won the face-off outside the Winnipeg blue line after the offside on Mitch Marner. They win that draw again, throw the puck deep into the Winnipeg zone, and eventually Pacioretty, I think, is going to get another assist as well as Willie Nylander. But again, Joe, both goals start on pucks that are just wired into the Winnipeg zone, and the Leafs go in after it. And on the forecheck are able to generate the scoring chance, and good enough for a 2-0 lead.
Shot into the Leaf zone with a Stoller save, and the puck is punched out into neutral ice. And it'll be the Jets back organizing, and now they're down 2-0. We'd better find out how many games they've come back from a 2-0 deficit instead of just giving up the opening goal. Jets with a centering pass, deflects high in the air. Settled down there nicely by Tavares. He played it into the Winnipeg zone, but quickly brought back the other way by Logan Stanley. Stanley will send it down around the boards to the far side. Leafs get to it first. Minute 22 to go in the period, and punched out at center ice. Along the boards. Played back into the Toronto end. Quickly stopped there by David Camp, but it is cleared back into the corner. And now on the left wing side, the Leafs get it out into neutral ice, and they'll deposit it right back down into Winnipeg territory. It really has been a dump and chase first period for the Maple Leafs. They have been onto the puck as it's shot in again. Slowed up by Hellebuck. He plays it himself back into the far corner to allow the Jets access, and they get it out in center, and they'll shoot it in this time. 38 seconds left to go in the period. Domi against the boards near side. Poked it free. Leafs with Riley coming to center. He'll chip it into the left wing corner. In goes Bobby McMahon to play it back at the net. Pontus Holmberg couldn't come up with it. Jets will get it out with 20 seconds left in the period. And with a lot of traffic at center, it's just played in over the line where the Leafs are going to stretch things out, get it up at center, flip it right back down into Winnipeg territory, and hopefully just wind down this clock with 4 seconds left to go. And maybe the best period of hockey the Leafs have played this season comes to an end with a 2-0 lead as Max Pacioretty sets up John Tavares and William Nylander.
And the shots on goal totals we have right now, 18-7 favoring the Leafs. Austin Matthews leading the way with 3 of the 18. But you're right. I think when you go through all the games this season, now part of it is you could say Winnipeg is due to have an off night. They were certainly flat in the opening 20 minutes. But the Leafs took advantage. Both goals coming off the forecheck. Dump it in, go get it, and make something happen. And that's Craig Berube's style of hockey. Let the skill take over after you've dumped it in and been physical and won the one-on-one battle to get the puck back.
Tavares is third, Nylander sixth. 2-0 Toronto. We'll ship it off to Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
If you like yacht rock, you're gonna love Yacht Soul. A Sirius XM channel with the same smooth, but even more groove.
Just the two of us. Turn your lover.
Yeah. Soulful and funky. Yacht Soul. Listen year-round at home on Alexa, Google Home, smart TVs, and everywhere on the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put on...
Now that's the first period of hockey, huh, Insiders? I love it. What a start for the Buds, 2-0. Like Joe Bowen said, maybe the best period of hockey the Leafs have played all season long. I have to agree. I think so. But beautiful goal there from Willie, right out in front. Nobody around him. Jets fell asleep on that one. Hey, great start for the Leafs. Now they just got to keep it intact. Now they just have to stay focused and make sure that the second period they don't give anything crappy up. And, we keep this going. So, what's up in the chat there? We got Gabriel in the chat. Good to see you, Gabriel. There's Sandra Berube. How you doing, Sandra? Great to see you. Wilf, Lisa, Christy, go Leafs, go. Point guard, great start. A great start, point guard. Thanks for hanging out with us and making this place awesome. Every single one of you that is here, thank you for helping me create this awesome Toronto sports. community. What we do here, we just like to have fun during the game. Keep it classy, talk it up during the sports, and root on our Toronto teams. And so there you go. I'm going to take it back to the post game, back to the intermission report. We'll be back in the second period. I'm going to go grace my presence over in the baseball stream for the World Series. We got, I think, about 800 or so over there in the chat right now. About the same as what we've got here. So thank you all for hitting that like button, hitting that share button as well. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you back in a few.
Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Kochetkov making that jump last year. What do you see in the net?
The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. But we still got Freddie in here. I think he's got something to prove. So I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Flyers defenseman Travis Sanheim.
Is it a rebuild type thing? Is it definitely a playoff team in your mind?
I think last season, I don't know if anyone in our room was saying rebuild. We thought that we could surprise some teams, and I think we did that. A lot of guys that are coming back, and then obviously adding Meat Scott's going to be huge. So, we're looking forward to getting started and seeing if we can build off of last season.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
It's Radio Network.
It's cleared off a skate, but not out. Leafs keep it in on the right side. Hannah dropping it back, and a shot blocked in front of the net. Close in front, they score. Tavares taps it home. It is as ugly a goal as you can get, but it is exactly what the Maple Leafs have been working on. Hucking back at the net, centered in front, they score! Nylander got a gift in front of the net. He was unmarked, and a great feed in front of the goal made by Max Pacioretty, who picks up another assist, and the Leafs have a warranted 2-0 lead.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Jim and Joe said it best. It's 2-0 Leafs after 20 minutes against the undefeated red-hot Winnipeg Jets, who did not come out that way. It looked a little different.
No, they didn't. Did not look like a typical Winnipeg Jets period, although their 5-on-5 numbers are not otherworldly like their record is. But yeah, that was a whooping 5-on-5 for the Maple Leafs, over one expected goals to about 0.18. So the Maple Leafs absolutely caving in the Winnipeg Jets at 5-on-5 in the period. The only real blemish would be what's been the blemish, all season long so far for the Maple Leafs. I wouldn't say a bad power play, but a power play that didn't bear any fruit. Again, I don't want to bury it because it looked like it had some moments, but the real strong portions of those period were spent at 5-on-5, and specifically with a second or third line, or I guess it's actually the second line officially, because William Nylander and John Tavares are back together on a middle six unit. Tavares, Nylander, Pacioretty with 2 goals, played really, really well in that period.
I will say, if I'm trying to scrutinize the power play, which they did get 2 opportunities, and as you mentioned, they didn't score, I thought there was more quicker puck movement. That's about it. Like, I think sometimes it can look very stagnant, and maybe that's with so much talent. Like, it's almost overwhelming. And it looked like they were at least moving the puck a little quicker on these power plays, but, the end goal is to score.
Well, you know what I liked? Matthew Nye is right on the blue paint, right in the kitchen of Connor Hellebuck. I think it's the one thing that is lacking. And again, if there was a tweak I would make, it would be Matthew Nye's playing on the top power play unit, which he is in this game. So I think that's something they can build on. The fact that they had a couple chances. They had some time to work in the offensive zone with both units, I think is a positive. It would be really, really nice to get one. But again, a 2-0 lead more important at this point.
The goal was first scored by John Tavares. And yeah, it wasn't a pretty one, but that's, a right place, right time situation, puts it in the net. Willie's was also really kind of convenient location for him. He was in the right space, the right time. Both really good opportunities set up. Max Pacioretty, who comes back in the lineup, he gets himself on the scoreboard in a really meaningful way, getting both of those, both of the helpers for the goals. And he, maybe this is what's best for him. Does he have to play every game? No. Maybe when he does come back in, he plays with a little fire because he's like, I want to prove myself and I want to be back in there. He's an older guy. Is he supposed to play 82 games this year? Probably not. Is he expendable to always be the guy out of the lineup? Also probably not. So he gets back in an opportunity to kind of prove that he has something to give, and that's kind of the creativity and the poise that he does bring.
Yeah, if he can build some meaningful chemistry with John Tavares, I think it would be a pretty meaningful breakthrough for the Maple Leafs. I think one of the big concerns with Tavares this year is, can you afford to put him on an island? Can you afford to play him with Pontus Holmberg and Bobby McMahon or Calle Järnkrok when he comes back and insert middle six forward? You know what I mean? It feels like he needs someone who can make offensive plays to make use of his offensive skill set. And if he's out there trying to do it himself, maybe you're not getting the best out of an $11 million player when hoping that, Nylander can drive play and Marner and Matthews can have that chemistry and actually use it to good effect. So I think Tavares, clearly he's going to be better with better players. But if Max Pacioretty, who was no shoe-in to be on this team unless the handshake agreement PTO was something you definitely believed in, which maybe you should, but if he can build chemistry with a guy who has had that offensive skill set, who has put up numbers, and it doesn't necessarily have to be Nylander with him, I think that'd be huge, because then at least you can get some production, or you can have some secondary, some good secondary production from Tavares. On an island, I don't know about Tavares, but I don't even know about him with Nylander. But if him and Max Pacioretty with a winger can get things going, that would be big. That'd be big.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll give you some more thoughts before the start of the second period. Take a look at that out-of-town scoreboard. It's the Sports Equinox tonight, so every major sports league.
I guess we might have to throw one in.
I think we might throw a little Sports Equinox in.
It's a busy night in the NHL, but I think we can make that happen.
Yeah, well, we're watching Game 3 of the World Series, and Freddie Freeman's already doing Freddie Freeman things. So we will try to include that in our out-of-town scoreboard. We'll take a quick break and get more thoughts to you on the other side. Listen to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Desjardins Insurance cares a lot about their clients. In fact, it's packed with such a ginormous amount of vast and substantial care that's bursting with even more whoppingly humongous and colossal care. You might be a little surprised when we tell you that all of that care fits in the palm of your hand. With the Desjardins Insurance mobile app, you'll get a big hand with 24/7 paper-free access to all of your home and auto policies, including your digital pink slip. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
As fall approaches and birds head south, a different kind of bird emerges, the Subaru. While migratory flocks seek warmth, Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive keeps drivers soaring through the wild. During the migrating season, Subaru's hunger for adventure grows exponentially, driving the intrigued radio listeners to fall for Subaru at their local Subaru dealerships, experiencing an adventure of their own. So migrate to your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
Get the official NHL app to watch, read, and listen to all the deeks.
All I can say is absolutely wow.
All the sauce. All the saves.
Stop from Vasilevsky.
All the hits. All the snipes. All the sellies.
He scores! Unbelievable!
All the hockey. If it's hockey, it's here. Listen to every NHL game for free, now with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Download the official NHL app now.
Over to our sideline reporter now with Brett and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure with Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency and free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
From the biggest stadiums
for the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Holy mackerel, what a move!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. It is 2-0 for the Maple Leafs after 20 minutes against the Winnipeg Jets. Let's take a look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365 must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca.
Some concern in the National Hockey League tonight as Connor McDavid exited the Oilers game versus the Columbus Blue Jackets in the first period, and the Blue Jackets have responded accordingly. They lead the Oilers 4-0 nearing the end of the second. It's 2-2 Panthers and Sabres nearing the end of the second. And the Lightning have a 2-0 lead over the Predators in the return of Steven Stamkos to Amalie Arena. Still to come tonight, Utah will host the lowly Sharks. Avalanche and Blackhawks, Golden Knights and Flames in a big Pacific Division matchup. And the Hurricanes and Canucks will go at it tonight at 10 p.m.
And it's 2-0 for the Dodgers.
And I believe it's 3-3. I should have had this in the Monday Night Football game, but that's really not important given that we're teeing up this second period here for the Maple Leafs.
That's
and
correct.
Winnipeg Jets.
Yes, so Leafs get out to a hot start, a 2-0 lead. We mentioned it in our pregame show. 8 straight wins for Winnipeg to start the season and 16 straight if you count the end of last season's regular season. So they were riding a high, and I guess the key to this is for the Maple Leafs to keep their momentum, but to not give the Jets an opportunity to get on the power play, which we know is cooking at 43%. So just play smart, maybe even boring hockey if you're the Maple Leafs, like low risk at this time.
Listen, you might actually want to see a power play up close and personal, see what a 43%
You're right,
power
actually,
play
maybe they could take some
looks
notes.
like. Yeah, they could take some notes in this game if it gets out of hand. Maybe see one in the third period, but there's a long way to go before it gets out of hand. This Jets team has been resilient to start the year. A 2-goal deficit is not something they can't overcome on the path to an 8-0 record. So still another big period as the Maple Leafs look to build on one of their best so far this year.
Goals by John Tavares and William Nylander. At least we're smoking them in shots too, 18 shots to 5. So that was a full effort Maple Leafs period. Let's see if they can, put 2 together, then 3 together, because they traditionally can take their foot off the gas.
Making Monday nights their thing if this continues.
Maybe this is their day of the week, All right, we'll take a break.
Mine.
Well, it could be. We'll take a quick break. We'll send it to Jim Ralph and Joe Bowen, who have the call of the second period next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Get the Sportsbook's perspective of the World Series on Sports Grid Radio.
The Dodgers opened up as the favorites to win the series at -128. The Yankees opened at +108.
Every run scored can move the line and impact the odds to win the series. And we're covering it all right now.
A lot of different prop options. The one that I like is Ohtani to have 3 or more home runs.
From strikeout props to home run props, run totals, and the odds to win the MVP. The place to get the winning edge over the sportsbooks is Sports Grid Radio, channel 159 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is...
Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! Come on, Leafs fans. I can't see it in the chat. Let's get that Go Leafs, go blasting for the second period. Our buds have got to take advantage of this 2-0 lead going into the second. We can't sit back and rest. Don't think about it. Let's go get it. Let's go get that third. Put this baby to bed. Let's send all the Winnipeg Jets fans home early. Cheers, insiders. Go Leafs, go. Let's see it in the chat.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate. Weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Leafs Radio Network.
Maple Leafs 2 and the Winnipeg Jets no score. As the Leafs have gotten goals from Tavares and Nylander, with Max Pacioretty setting up both tallies. And really the best period the Leafs have played, in my humble estimation.
Yeah, I mean, they get some breaks and some bounces and giveaways by the Winnipeg Jets, but it's simply because they get in on the forecheck and force Winnipeg to turn it over.
Third time this season that the Maple Leafs have jumped out in front by a 2-goal margin to start the game. As it rolls down into the Jets zone, Hellebuck cleared it into the corner. The Leafs get it out in front of the net, but it was knocked off his stick and now slides all the way down into Toronto territory. Tanev reverses the puck, played up on the wing, and the Leafs start out with a pass on the left wing. Pacioretty sends it into the right wing corner. Tavares let it go, played around back of the net there by Nylander, and around the boards it's going to go all the way down the ice as it's cleared by Winnipeg, and an icing call coming up here.
Look at the Leafs in the opening period in the face-off dot. Toronto wins 70% of the face-offs in the first, 14 out of 20. That gives you a little extra puck possession time, too, doesn't it?
Yep. Matthews, right, way to go. He lost the face-off, and it's cleared to center ice down into the Leaf zone by Winnipeg.
Idiot.
You're
Idiot.
Shot back into the... here's a loose puck in front of the net, and a loose puck, another shot. That's up the rebound, they score! Nice, tidies up the garbage, and it is 3-0 Toronto, even with the face-off loss.
I don't know why anybody would bring it up. Austin Matthews had the first chance. Hellebuck had to move quickly from his left to his right to get it. And again, it all starts, Leafs dump it in and go get it. And it's actually Matthew Nyes that strips the puck in behind the net and throws it out front. Mitch Marner's first shot was blocked. The rebound went to Austin Matthews, and that's where Hellebuck had to have the big push left to right. But the rebound popped back towards the middle, and Matthew Nyes, coming out from behind the net, finds it on a stick, and he's got a wide open net to slam it into.
It will be, I think, the entire line figuring in on the goal. And now here's Bobby McMahon with Riley going to the front of the net, but he couldn't get him the puck. Jets get it up on the left wing and out at center ice. Pion will shoot it into the Toronto zone, around the boards to the far corner. Trying to get to it is Stanley. He loses it. Leafs are able to skate it to center. One-handed down into the zone. Hustling in there after it now is Pontus Holmberg. Holmberg unable to get to it, but Domi does. Domi back to the point. The one-timer coming. That was off the mark wide. Jets get it out into the center ice area again. Velarde trying to play it in along the boards. We've talked about this a number of times. About a loose puck now coming towards the Leaf end with Kyle Connors on it. It gets back to the point. Miller, D to D, and a shot in on goal, smothered by Stolars, and it will be held for a faceoff. We talked about north, south, east, west, and how right now the Leafs are playing a very impressive north-south game. Get it in, get on it, get it out in front, get traffic to the net, get shots on goal. When they get the east-west thing going, that's when things bog down, and this is what they are trying to change.
For Connor Hellebuck, third time this year he's given up 3 in a game. He does have a shutout, and that was actually to open the season in the win against the Edmonton Oilers.
So Matthew Nyes, with his 5th goal of the season.
He's on a 37-goal pace coming in. I know it's very early to start crunching those numbers.
But
by the way,
the reality of it.
Scott Arniel, by the way, is you mentioned the record is 10-0-0 to start the season. That was the Leafs in '94. For Scott Arniel, he's the first coach to start 8-0-0 at the start of the season with a new team.
Rolls in on goal, and it's going to be thrown aside by Stolars, and the Leafs break it out on the left wing, but they don't have anybody over there. Now the puck along the boards. Camp at the blue line, fed by Lorenz back into his own zone. Round back of the net, chipped along the boards then by the Leafs. Lorenz will launch it high, off the glove of Reeves. Reeves backhands deep into the zone, and the Leafs are going to get a change started. The Leafs 3 and the Winnipeg Jets no score here early in the second period. Played into the center ice area. Stolen back by the Maple Leafs and in over the line. Pacioretty going to the front of the net as Nylander gets it back to the net for him. Now Pacioretty along into the near corner, trying to one-hand it back to the point and does. Long shot taken there. A loose puck at the side of the goal that Hellebuck is able to cover up, but Tavares was right on the post. But again, get it back to the point, get it to the net, make sure you got some people there, and almost a good scoring chance developing.
You know, once you get in that position where you win those battles with a loose puck, skill can still take over to make plays. But I think where it's important is you say, okay, there's nothing clear-cut. There's no lanes. So let's bulldoze our way to the front of the net and look for garbage.
Leafs win the face-off. At the point, another shot wide. Swung in front of the net. Stopped by Hellebuck. Back of the net. Pacioretty into the corner for Tavares. Pacioretty to Nylander. Into the slot area for Morgan Riley. Scores! 4-0 Toronto. Max Pacioretty, have yourself a night. And the Maple Leafs have blown this one open.
Still lots of time left. But right now, the Leafs have scored more against the Winnipeg Jets than anyone else in this 2024-25 season. As Morgan Riley finds some room after Max Pacioretty throws it to Nylander in the right wing circle. Nylander then just, it seems like a blind pass at the time, doesn't it? But Nylander from the right wing circle, a backhand pass to the left point, and Morgan Riley is all alone, walks in and beats Hellebuck short side.
Out come the Leafs to the center ice area. Don't get it in deep this time. Brought in by Pionk. Played into the left wing corner. Jets take a shot towards the net, but it's blocked and quickly grabbed off now, and Nyes gets it out into the center ice area. Matthews shooting the puck in. Round on the boards to the far side. Leaf defense can't keep it in, and the Jets get it out at center. Leafs trying to get back and have numbers as a centering pass is blocked, and the net is dislodged.
Boy, Stoller's got run into pretty heavily there. Was that
Appleton going to the net, I believe? And Stolarz really, he went down. He seems to be all right. Getting some straps adjusted on the right pad.
Watching the replay here, I don't know if he was pushed in or went in on his own.
7.
4 to the 10.
Pacioretty centered the puck and went off Nylander's stick and then to Riley, and Riley snaps it home. So Nylander gets the primary assist, but it really was Pacioretty, wasn't it? A shot, blocked, rebound, goes wide of the Leaf goal. Domi thought about moving up ice, but couldn't get Tanev to get him the puck, but now it goes around back of the net, and Jake McCabe gets it to center. Leafs will chip it into the zone once more. Hustling in after it, Bobby McMahon. The puck to the side of the goal. McMahon's been taken down by Dylan DeMello. Back on his skates, trying to get it in front. Now one of the Jets has been bowled over, and the puck underneath him, and there's going to be a penalty here.
Holmberg for cross-checking. Kupari then cross-checked Holmberg right after the whistle went. But these are the penalties you got to stay away from. In the offensive zone, you got a 4-0 lead. Now, Greg Berube is screaming at the officials. I don't know whether he wanted an even-up call. But if you're Holmberg, I mean, you got to be careful. You got to play the score. It's 4-0. It's a cross-check into the lower back. And it was Morrissey, the defenseman for the Jets, that went down.
Penalty kill. Oh, sorry.
I'm still watching Craig Berube. Go ahead.
Penalty kill brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealer. Up your game. Lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com.
10 for 23. Winnipeg Jets on the power play. Yes, that's first in the league. 43.5%.
Scheifele will take the draw with Matthews and wins it cleanly. Back to the point, Morrissey. On the far side, a shot is blocked by the Leafs. Centering pass in front. One-timer by Connor was off the side of the goal. Leafs get to it in the corner, and it is lifted high and out and down the ice.
Now, you and I talked about it before we went on the air, how much you admire Kyle Connor and what he's done. 3 years ago, had 47 goals on the season.
Velarde gets in over the line, but the Leafs are able to block it. Marner starts back up ice, slowly through center, to the line, takes a long shot that is going to force Hellebuck to catch it, and also stop play and bring a face-off in the Winnipeg zone with the Leafs killing off this first power play that they have had to face this game.
Well, Perfetti actually leads the Winnipeg Jets in power play goals with 3. All 3 of his goals have come on the power play. Kyle Connor has 2. But for Connor, he's hit the 30-goal mark in 6 of his 7 seasons in the National Hockey League. The one he didn't was the COVID season, 54.
Here's a loose puck off a face-off win, and David Camp shot it wide of the goal. This is the 38th time the Leafs have been shorthanded. With the 2 shorthanded times at Winnipeg this year, or this game, just 18. 18 to 38 is the difference. Back to the blue line. Velarde into the corner. Comes back to the point once more for Winnipeg. On the wing for Connor. Back to the point once more, and a long shot coming. Blocked with all the traffic in front, and the Leafs break it out on the left wing. Here's Lorenz with the shot, and that went off the stick of Hellebuck and wide of the goal, and quickly brought back the other way by Winnipeg. 38 seconds left in the penalty. Connor into the corner. Tried to play it back to the blue line. It does come back to the point. Morrissey holding to the far side. A shot, scores! Connor in the far circle. Lifted it off the roof of the net. Stolarz got over there but couldn't get his blocker on it, and the power play of Winnipeg that has been outstanding gets them on the board.
$11 for 24 now on the season for the Jets. And that's going back to Holmberg. I know Craig Berube may not have liked the call, but you're up 4-0 and you take a cross-checking penalty in the offensive zone. And you look, Anthony Stolarz was able to get over to the short side, but you can see, Joe, he doesn't seal off the entire short side. It actually goes off around his ear, off his mask, and in short side. They get the Jets on the board.
Coming into the game, Pionk, Ehlers, Scheifele, and Connor all had 10 points. As a backhand shot goes wide of the Leaf goal. Well, let's see what kind of a pushback comes here from Winnipeg. And how do the Leafs respond? Centering pass in the Toronto zone was knocked up on the boards, and the Leafs have some time and space, and it's backhanded out at center ice and knocked to the blue line, but not into the zone. Nylander against the boards, trying to tie his man up. Can't. Namestnikov gets into the zone, cleared back out at center, and another penalty coming.
And it's going to be Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
Namestnikov is down. Did he take a high stick? One of the Jets is trying to get at Ekman-Larsson.
It's Barron, is it not? And it looks like Namestnikov is okay, back on his feet. Take a look again.
Just
what?
Pretty.
I'm not sure.
Nondescript.
I'm not sure what this is.
Boarding. Oh, wow. That's a tough call.
I hope they show Craig Berube again, because if he didn't like the last one.
Camper.
Yeah.
But the Leafs have some penalty killing work to do here. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway picks.
Hey, hockey fans, thank you so much for being a part of our Create 100K campaign for SickKids Hospital in Toronto. Tonight is the last Leafs game that we will have our fall drive open for donations. So please, if you have been thinking about it, please make a donation or please share the link out. It's pinned in the chat or it's in the description if we've got other hockey stuff in there. SickKids is wrapping it up here on October 30th. We wanted to give it one final push for the World Series. We're doing it. It's up to you, Leafs Nation. Let's see what you've got to add here to the SickKids Create 100K for 2024. As you know, a portion of our proceeds every single month goes to SickKids, and man, I can't wait to make the donation for this October month once all is said and done with the baseball chats. Now, let's go back to the hockey. Thank you for being here. Thank you for helping us, and we'll see you back in the chat.
It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CRV LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
You know that's game on.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Penalty kill brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealer. Up your game. Lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com. So the second straight power play opportunity for Winnipeg. Connor gets it down into the corner. Back into the slot again. Morrissey a drive. That was deflected wide of the net. Connor trying to keep it in and does as it's played back into the far side. Morrissey with a pass in front that's deflected wide. Connor will keep it in and swept over on the far side. Morrissey looking for Ehlers in the slot. Comes in front of the goal. Another shot. Big save made by Anthony Stolarz. He stole that with his left hand as Kyle Connor is robbed.
One thing I thought, Joe, and not to be hypercritical of Stolarz on the first goal because it was a great shot, but we're used to seeing him moving out and cutting down the angle, and that's exactly what he does here on this effort. Kyle Connor scored from the left wing circle, short side, and this time he's on the right wing side. And Stolarz comes over and then out.
Another long shot deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Played to the wing, but the Leafs aren't going to be able to get to it to clear it. A shot from an angle block. Cleared back into the corner. Back to the point it comes over here to Connor. Connor a shot right on. That was stopped. The rebound was shoveled wide of the net. And as good as the first period was to the Maple Leafs, this second period has been dominated a little bit territorially because of the power plays by Winnipeg. But the Maple Leafs have scored twice in this period, building the 4-0 lead. Now a shot rolls to the goal line, stolen by the Leafs back, and it's iced. Big save made by Stolarz, and then a clearing from the goal crease area to prevent any rebound. 42 seconds left in the penalty.
One of the saves he's made have been spectacular. I mean, acrobatic.
Here's Pionk to the right wing side, and a one-timer was taken there that deflected wide. Leafs get it off the glass, and down the ice it'll go. 27 seconds left in the penalty.
A lot more Johnny Bauer than Freddie Anderson. Would you not agree?
Jets come through the neutral zone and feed it in on the right wing. Stopping up there was Niederreiter. Niederreiter gets it back to the point. Left wing side, and a wrist shot into the glove of Stolarz. And he has that with 7 seconds left in the power play. 10:59 to go in the period. And the Maple Leafs now with a 4-1 lead as a puck got behind Stolarz. But it was pushed out and then very quickly and efficiently shot down the ice by Matthew Nyes.
And with the Morgan Riley goal, that ties him with Brian McCabe and Thomas Caverly for 6th all-time in Leaf defenseman goal scoring, and that's Pat Chiretti. 3 assists on the night.
Another shot from the point. Broken stick. Puck goes wide. Leafs clear it off the boards. And down the ice it goes.
First time for Pacioretty to have 3 assists in the game since February 5th of 2021.
Wow. Well, Nick Robertson out of the lineup. You would think Pacioretty filling in that spot. And, the veteran has still got some savvy, and he's around the net. He's picked up where he's left off.
And I think it's going to be like what we're going to see in goal, where eventually Craig Berube is just going to go with the hot guys. And it's not that Nick Robertson wasn't playing well or wasn't trying. I think the big problem was ice time under 13 minutes a game for Nick Robertson, and it's tough to really get into the flow of things and put up good numbers when that's the ice time total.
And he doesn't kill penalties. Round on the boards, Leafs keep the puck in. They've killed off the second Winnipeg power play. The Jets get it in on the right wing. DeMello will ring the boards. Well, he was going to ring the boards, but he kind of stumbled a little bit and then put the rush offside. And so it will come back into the center ice area. Leafs 4 and the Winnipeg Jets 1.
You said with Kyle Connor, his goal totals over the last 7 years coming into this one, Joe, 34, 31, 47, 26, which was the 56 game season in 2021. 38, 34, 31. So his numbers, quietly too, because I might be one of those guys that doesn't get nearly enough attention for what he's been able to accomplish.
Played down into the Winnipeg zone. Banked off the boards, trying to get it out there was Velarde, but failing to do so. Kept in at the point by Riley. He'll play it around the far side. Cut off there by Kyle Connor. He'll play it in front of his own goal, and Hellebuyck had to be paying attention there because he made a pretty good save on his sniper. Now back into the Toronto zone it comes. Knocked off a stick, but now Camp couldn't get it out. Long shot, deflects off a body to the far corner. Keeping it in is Iafallo. He'll go to the boards. Domi is able to pin it up against the wall. Max Domi coming home to Winnipeg, where he was born. Now down into the corner it goes. He and Reeves are native Manitobans. And it has been cleared. Did it go over the glass and out? Morgan Riley has a disgusted look on his face. I think that answers my question. And the Winnipeg Jets are going to go to their third consecutive power play. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Each year, Eddie Vedder handpicks some of his favorite artists to join him at his Ohana Music Festival on the beach in Dana Point, California.
Are you ready, Ohana?
Hear this year's most unforgettable moments.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just saw Devo.
Featuring 2 nights of Pearl Jam. And exclusive performances from Sting, Alanis Morissette, and more. The best of Ohana 2024 starts Thursday on Pearl.
What's up, insiders? Jose Duarte with the $10 super chat. Thank you, Jose. So much appreciated. The support is amazing. Go Leafs, go. We are on the penalty kill this period. They listened to what I had to say. We jumped right on it. We got the third, got the fourth, but we gotta stay up. Gotta stay up, Leafs. The penalties are coming back and forth. No, I'm sorry. I'm not sponsored by Manscaped anymore. But I used to be back in the day, way back when we first started the channel. Shirt still lasts, so maybe it's a good product. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Go Leafs, go. Let's get back to the hockey. Cheer loud, ladies and gentlemen. Great to see everybody in the chat tonight. Gary Beeswax, Elizabeth, great to see you guys. It has been too long. Cheers, insiders. Go Leafs, go. Hey, hockey fans. Thank you so much.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM
Radio Network.
Second period brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that is really big on care. And the penalty kill coming to you from Winnipeg, brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealer. Up your game and lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com.
And elsewhere, Mookie Betts Singles to drive in the third run of the game for the LA Dodgers. The 3-0 lead over the Yankees.
Here the Jets on the power play. Connor down below, trying to center the puck in front of the net with Scheifele. It comes back to Connor at the right point. Top of the circle, back to Scheifele in the corner. Centering in front of the net, didn't work. It comes off the boards to the left wing side. Rung around back of the net, trying to chip it in front was Ehlers. Stolen by the Leafs and shot out and down the ice. Third straight power play for Winnipeg. 40th time the Leafs have been shorthanded this year. Cleared to the line and in. Brought on by Vilardi into the slot area. Drop pass, a shot, scores! Connor from the same spot he scored earlier. And a 4-0 lead has been cut in half.
This one through a screen. It's funny how really unnecessary penalties are the ones that cost you on the scoreboard. Holmberg, a cross-check in the Winnipeg zone, led to the first Jets goal. Morgan Riley, delay a game, puck over glass, leads to the second one. And this just goes through Simon Benoit. Vilardi was in front of Stollers as well, didn't see it. And this crowd in Winnipeg is into it right now. 8:35 to go in the second period. A 4-0 Leaf lead has now been cut in half. Funny
penalty kill that it was the one thing they could hang their hat on over the last number of games. They had given up just 3 of 19 in their last 5. All of a sudden runs into the hottest power play in the league, and the Winnipeg Jets just continue to score with the man advantage. Comes to center ice, chipped in over the line but broken up at the Leaf blue line. Launched by Pacioretty again into the far corner. Going back to retrieve it is Sandberg. Dylan Sandberg to his defense partner, and brought on by Neil Pionk, the center, and he'll shoot it in. Round on the boards to the far side, deflects into the corner. Chipped along the boards for the Maple Leafs, looking for Domi. Domi has it up against the boards but can't get it past the defense. Cleared by Winnipeg, back into the near corner. Ekman Larsson got it ahead, played gingerly off the boards into the zone by Bobby McMahon to make sure it wasn't icing, and the Jets have it now and are trying to work out of their own end. Played ahead by Miller. In on the wing it goes, going hard to the front of the net. With Scheifele, it comes back to the point. Long shot block. Lowry trying to get to it. Puck is still in the Toronto end in the near corner. And now pushed up on the wing and played to an open wing where the defense will get to it. And Timmins shoots it down into Winnipeg territory. Domi trying to get it back. Pontus Holmberg was upended there without a call. The puck goes around the boards to the near side. And Winnipeg starts out with it. Played on a bounce off a body into the zone. Stollers plays it around the wall, and it'll be Nyes playing it ahead at center for Marner. Marner tried to get it into the zone and does. Back to get it quickly, though, Vilardi. Gabriel Vilardi starts back for Winnipeg. A pass up on the wing, a bouncing disc in over the line. Jets Connor trying to get it freed up. Leafs take it away. Marner working back in his own zone. Got it ahead for Matthews. Matthews will play it off on the left wing, and now the Leafs get it ahead. Here's Marner in across the line. Onto the right wing side, Riley. Flip back of the net for Marner. Couldn't find Nyes, and it is the Jets coming away with it to get it out. Winnipeg across the line, but the linesman says they were offside. And with 6:10 to go in the second period, the two teams have equalized here in the second with a pair of goals each after the Leafs led 2-0 after 40 minutes, or after 20 minutes.
Both goals in the power play for Kyle Connor and the Jets. The Leafs 4 goals, 5 on 5. In fact, Matthew Nyes, every goal he has scored in the NHL has been 5 on 5. But we are seeing him getting opportunities to kill penalties this year as well as some power play time.
Pass deflects off a Winnipeg stick down on their goaltender, and it's swallowed up by Connor Hellebuck. Had a great conversation today with our very good friend Bill Waters.
Yes.
Uncle Wilbur has gone through some health issues. He's back home out of hospital, doing much, much better. And I had a long discussion about the Leafs and how things are going and whatnot. And, of course, now Joey.
You would know better than I.
You know better than I. But I got the but. So all of the best to our very good friend up in Orillia. Puck back of the Winnipeg goal. A battle for it there. On poke free, the Leafs unable to come out with it. And then it is rolled out at center ice and volleyballed back by the Leafs, but cleared on the second effort into the Toronto end. Leafs are back there to deflect it out and down towards the Winnipeg zone. No icing, and Miller goes back to start out. Lorentz chasing him, but gets a change of players started. Jets get it in over the line. Pass broken up at the defense, cleared to the line, but not out. Off on the left wing side, and a shot goes off a leg and wide. Back to the point to Pionk. Pionk into the corner. Leafs getting there to try and tie things up. They outman the Jets, and now Tavares gets it to center, but the stick of Pacioretty explodes on him, and he can't get the puck in deep. Bobby Hastings quickly gets him a new twig, and it's back down into the Toronto zone.
I think that was his lucky passing stick, too.
Yes. that stick had 3 assists going. You better find a way to get that glued together again. Tavares gets it in over the line, drops off on a wing and a shot, and that went wide as Nylander let it go. Puck down into the far corner. Nyes unable to reach it as it comes around to Tavares once more. Tavares still on the ice as it's cleared off a stick to center. Marner will have to wait for him to get onside and place it back to the defense. Matthews joins his wingers as it is played down into Winnipeg territory with 4:16 to play here in the period. Jets get it out on the right wing side. Shifley across the line. Rubbed out efficiently there by Matthews, who took him down. And now to Hanov gets it out at center. Matthews in on the left wing with a chance to shoot. And he fired it wide on the short side. Leafs trying to keep the puck in, but failing to do so. And the Jets get it to the Leaf blue line, where it's poked back, but not out. And now Benoit will find Morgan Rielly. Rielly circling back in his own zone. Off to Benoit on the left wing. A good group of Leaf fans. You can hear them at the Canada Life Center in Winnipeg. Pass almost intercepted, then stolen by the Leafs, and Domi in on the left wing. Had a chance to get in front, the shot. Oh, and Hellebuck made a great save with the blocking glove there.
That was Domi to Bobby McMahon in tight.
Ekman Larsson for McKay. Back to his defense partner, banked out at center. And McMahon couldn't get it into the zone, but now Domi does. To McMahon, or a pass to him. It came off a stick and back along the boards. And the Jets get it out at center. McMahon bowled over from behind. That hit there by Morgan Barron was certainly every bit as bad as the boarding call that Ekman Larsson took. A pass up on the right wing. The Leafs get it back into the zone. Lorentz chasing after it as it comes around the boards to the near side. Centering pass into the slot. Nylander! And the shot went wide. The rebound shoveled off the side of the goal. Willie gets it again. Nylander circling in the corner. Back to the point. Benoit shot, and it got through. Pacioretty was there trying to disrupt things in front. Now Pacioretty is involved here with Logan Stanley.
Not sure exactly what it was Pacioretty did, except stand in front of the Winnipeg goaltender. But Max Domi, a great feed to Bobby McMahon out front, and that was deflected. Boy,
Morrissey,
Josh Morrissey,
yep.
And then I think off the shoulder of Hellebuck.
It is 4-2. Toronto with the lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Getting my Honda CRV has opened the door to adventure with Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency and free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CRV LX two-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
Desjardins Insurance cares a lot about their clients. In fact, it's packed with such a ginormous amount of vast and substantial care that's bursting with even more whoppingly humongous.
Christine with the $10 super chat. Go Leafs, go. Go Leafs, go. Let's finish this second period strong, buds. Thank you, Christine. Appreciate the super chat. Man, they're rolling in tonight, and there's this new little thing popped up in my chat. It says there's some goal or something. So I'm gonna look at this, check it out, but I need some ideas. What should I do if we hit 10 super chats? And it says here by choose the super chat colors that count. As far as the dollar amount, all the colors. Damn it! If it's a super chat, it should count, right? I think so. And then I need to figure out something with what to do if we hit 10 super chats. So let me know. Give me some ideas here in the chat, everybody, and hopefully they'll be good and classy. So big support tonight. Thank you all. Let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. Let's get another one for the end of the second.
Radio Network.
Steven Stamkos making his first trip back to Tampa Bay with the Nashville Predators this evening. I see through Mike Zeisberger's photo that Chris Stamkos and our good friend Big G, Mario Giulianardo, are in attendance, and Stammer has a couple of assists. Pass back, deflects to the blue line, kept in by the Maple Leafs. Nylander back to the point. Ekman Larsson closes, got a shot away. It's deflected wide. It came back in front. They score! Another real ugly goal. But the Maple Leafs have gotten one back here as it bounces in. And is it Pacioretty who bats it out of the air to get it into the net?
Well, he and Tavares were both there, as this line has been dynamite for the Leafs. You love Pacioretty here, goes to the front of the net. Point shot comes. It was a fortunate. Now, it's hard to tell, Joe. I'm going to have to slow it down a little bit to see whether it was Pacioretty or Tavares on the backhand that chipped it in. They both went after it at the same time.
I think it might be Tavares, to be honest with you.
If it is, yeah. But they were both right there to whack at it. And the Leafs
will wait for the official.
Yet to restore their 4-goal lead, but back up by 3, 5-2.
Now they get a turnover again in the offensive zone. Working back with it as Marner. Played along the boards. Swept back of the net. Unable to reach it was Matthews. And the Jets get it lifted high into the neutral zone. Winnipeg carrying it in over the line. Minute 40 to go in the period. That is a big goal. If for no other reason to just kind of stop the bleeding and get things going again in the offensive end. Leafs get it out at center ice. Marner just flipping it in over the line. Will hustle after it, but it is Morrissey getting it around the boards and getting it out into neutral ice. Here the Jets now with Appleton. Getting across the line. Played it off Connor into the corner. Connor's muscled off the disc there by a Benoit shoulder check. And now here is Simon Benoit coming to center. He'll launch it back high into the near corner. Grabbing it there was Stanley. Played up on the boards on the near side and now brought out at center ice. Stanley, a pass ahead for Velarde. Velarde with a pass into the slot, didn't work. Stanley carries on, works around back of the net, had it stolen by Morgan Riley. Riley gets it on the wing, and the Maple Leafs are going to try and muscle it out, and they do, with Domi getting it to center. Domi in on the left wing. Bobby McMahon's shot is high over top of the goal. Domi gets to it in the far corner, works it to the side of the net, centered in front of the goal. Unable to get a shot away there was McMahon. McMahon in against the boards on the far side. Pass back to the point. McMahon gets it again, shot towards the net, off a body and wide. 16 seconds to go in the period.
Even that last flurry, Joe, by the Leafs, Potter's Holmberg right in front of the net.
Now a giveaway by the Leafs, but it goes off a leg to the point. Shot deflects off of Holmberg wide. Back of the net. Shifley trying to get it in front, but time is not an ally of the Jets on this occasion. As it is blown dead with the horn, John Tavares, I believe, is going to get his second goal of the game on that last play with Pacioretty right there as well. So the former captain has his fourth of the year.
And what's great about it, and I know we said this after the New Jersey game, when the Leafs beat the Devils for their first win of the regular season, not one of these goals is going to end up in the highlight reel. And that's a good thing because they've all been off the forecheck, throw it to the net, look for a rebound or redirection. And the Leafs have done it against a Winnipeg team that came in here on an 8-game losing streak. But the Leafs out shooting the Jets 31-15. So Winnipeg coming back here in the second period with 9 shots on goal, the Leafs with 12. But 31-15 overall in a 5-2 lead after 2.
Tavares from OEL and Nylander, the scoring play for the Maple Leafs to extend their lead to 5-2 after 40 minutes of play. Eilish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert coming away along with your second period intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
We are 7 weeks into the fantasy football season, and whether your team is in the race or ready to make the greatest comeback ever, Fantasy Sports Radio is ready to take you there.
It's more rewarding when you lose your first-round pick and you find a way to win anyway.
From start-sit advice to waiver pickups to so much more.
You got to work the waiver wire. You got to make trades. The draft is just a piece of the puzzle.
Showtime! Make your move with Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and on the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
Hey, hockey fans. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Have you hit that like button yet? Please hit that like button down below so we can get more hockey fans here in the chat and keep growing this awesome Toronto sports community. As well, please share the link out. Hit that thumbs up, click the little share arrow, send it to your favorite social media platform, send it out to any of the sports boards. The more people that click the link when it is shared on the internet and come over to YouTube, that's what YouTube wants. Let's give YouTube what they want. Let's share this link out. Let's get more Leafs fans in here. Thank you, Leafs Nation. Go Leafs, go. Let's get back to the hockey.
To play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, you know, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate
with Scott Laughlin and Gord Steller.
Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern
on NHL Network Radio,
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Kochetkov making that jump last year. What do you see in the net?
The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. You know, but we...
All right, I've got to add Sylvia's name to the list here. Thank you, Sylvia Johnson, for joining as an insider. Man, rolling in tonight. All right, the goal is live, everybody. It should be at the top of the chat. There's a little circle target there for the Super Chats. They didn't count the ones that are already sent. Put a goal together. Well, let's see if we can get 5 Super Chats in the next hour, the next 60 minutes. If we can get 5 Super Chats, I am going to donate an extra $100 to SickKids Hospital with our October revenue share. Let's go. Let's see what we got. It's our last night for the SickKids Fall Drive for Create 100K. So we got it all rolling tonight here on TSI. Hey, there's Dr. Dupree with his member for 7 months. Thank you, Manic, a.k.a. Dr. Dupree, for being a member for 7 months. This community, just every single night, it doesn't cease to amaze me. Thank you all so much. This day last year, October 28th of 2023, we had 4,422 subscribers / insiders. Today, 53,267 and counting. Let's keep it going, hockey fans. Back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. Finish this one strong. Let's not let the Jets back in this. We'll see you back in the chat. Hey, hockey fans.
And the Leafs Radio Network.
Ekman Larson closes, got a shot away. It's deflected wide. It's back in front. They score! Another real ugly goal. But the Maple Leafs have gotten one back here as it bounces in. And is it Pacioretty who bats it out of the air to get it into the net?
Well, he and Tavares were both there. as this line has been dynamite for the Leafs.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. A 5-2 lead for the Maple Leafs after 40 minutes. Eilish Forvar, Justin Cuthbert with your intermissions. And this has been a really great game if you're a Leafs fan. There's an asterisk on the 2 goals from the Winnipeg Jets that period, which were scored basically identical to each other. 2 Winnipeg power play goals by Kyle Connor. But other than that, there's been so much to like. So do you want to start with the power play goals and get those out of the way?
Sure. Maybe we shouldn't probably start negative, but I mean, Kyle Connor's a great sniper, one of the league's best goal
he's
scorers.
Super underrated.
And the Winnipeg Jets power play has been unbelievable, probably underrated as well.
It was 43% coming into tonight.
Yeah, so go up a tick from there. But the simplicity to which that they get things done just makes you so frustrated, even on a night like tonight where the Maple Leafs are leading 5-2, because it's just simple stuff for the Winnipeg Jets. Get into the zone, set up, get bodies in front, and have their best shooter shoot it through traffic, and it ends up in the back of the net. It's definitely 2 goals that the Maple Leafs and Marc Savard specifically can look at and try to emulate, but maybe there is more than just, a tactical thing here. And they have Austin Matthews, best goal scorer on the planet, but Kyle Connor's maybe just better at this one specific thing, shooting through traffic and scoring power play goals in the manner that the Winnipeg Jets do. But the traffic is one of the more important things. The decisiveness, the quickness to which they set up and actually shoot the puck, I think is very important. We're seeing why Winnipeg's power play has been so good through Kyle Connor this year. So the Leafs should study the tape just of their penalty kill and the power play of the Winnipeg Jets, because that's just been a little bit of a sticking point throughout the games this season. But other than that, Leafs controlling the majority of the play, the possession, everything in this game. They run up the goals here 5-2. Max Pacioretty will be probably the story, I would think, this post game tonight. 3 assists, and I think that's the first time he's got 3 assists since 2021. But he's just made an impact off the score sheet as well. We're seeing him just seeing eye passes, ways he looks reinvigorated. I know that I was not always a big guy for Max Pacioretty when we're talking about the offseason, right? I was like, oh, maybe you got to give Nick Robertson a choice. And I still think that there's probably a little bit more upside with a young player like Nick Robertson. But when Max Pacioretty gets in the lineup, it's hard to debate the value that he brings, the veteran leadership, the ability to make plays. And we're seeing that tonight. And when you get the chance to be in the lineup, if you make an impact like this, it's going to be hard to take you out. It's simplicity here, too. It's not the same as the power play, but it's simplicity at 5-on-5. The Maple Leafs and that second line in particular, creating through a forecheck, a quick decision with the puck, a shot on net, a rebound, position hockey that gets them in a spot where they can beat a quality goaltender like Connor Hellebuyck. I think, we've talked a long time about how William Nylander and John Tavares may not be the perfect match. Maybe there's just something that's needed between them, something and to get. Was Max Pacioretty. And again, but that's what we're seeing tonight. Pacioretty's just made little plays here and there to facilitate 2 really good offensive players in Tavares and Nylander, who all 3 of them have combined, with the help of Morgan Riley, taking one of the shots in the nice goal that the Maple Leafs scored tonight. 4 goals between them. Nylander has 3 points, Pacioretty 3 points, Tavares 2 goals. This is a brilliant offensive night for the second line, and maybe Pacioretty offers a dynamic that can facilitate those 2 in a way that they haven't been facilitated before. Again, this is just a start. They're going to have to do this over and over again. But just the offensive awareness of Pacioretty really, really evident in that period. And we spent a majority of our pregame show saying we didn't like that line. So what do we know? Not much. No, not much. They proved us wrong. So far, there's still 20 minutes, and we'll see if these lines sticks. But been really pleased to see the quick chemistry between those 3. Matthew Nyes also getting on the score sheet. And I mentioned it, Morgan Riley with a beautiful, beautiful goal. So Leafs are up 5-2 after 40 minutes. We'll take a quick break. We'll take a look at the NHL out-of-town scoreboard on the other side. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
As fall approaches and birds head south, a different kind of bird emerges, the Subaru. While migratory flocks seek warmth, Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive keeps drivers soaring through the wild. During the migrating season, Subaru's hunger for adventure grows exponentially, driving the intrigued radio listeners to fall for Subaru at their local Subaru dealerships, experiencing an adventure of their own. So migrate to your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
Desjardins Insurance cares a lot about their clients. In fact, it's packed with such a ginormous amount of vast and substantial care that's bursting with even more whoppingly humongous and colossal care. You might be a little surprised when we tell you that all of that care fits in the palm of your hand. With the Desjardins Insurance mobile app, you'll get a big hand with 24/7 paper-free access to all of your home and auto policies, including your digital pink slip. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need, when you need it, 24/7, 365, every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
NHLshop.ca, the official online store of the National Hockey League. And Canada's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear. With unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics. And all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLshop.ca, a Fanatics experience.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure. With Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency, I'm free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Whoop, Alice is excited too.
Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuss shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
We're back on Molson Leafs Hockey. Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. A 5-2 lead for the Maple Leafs after 40 minutes. Couple games going on in the NHL. Let's take a look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365 must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca.
The Edmonton Oilers must have enjoyed Leon Draisaitl's birthday. They trail 6-0 to the Blue Jackets. Panthers up 4-2 on the Sabres, but 5 minutes left in the third period. It's 2-2 Lightning and Predators. The Predators have scored twice to pull it even. Just getting underway, Sharks in Utah without a goal scored yet. Blackhawks with an early 2-1 lead on the Colorado Avalanche, and still to come tonight, Flames and Golden Knights and Hurricanes and Canucks.
How's Steven Stamkos doing? I know I mentioned, I think he got a point. And
yeah, he had an assist.
Tied up there, okay.
He's saving a potential dramatic moment for the third period or overtime.
Can you bet an OT winner? Because that is...
I'm sure you'll find a way.
That's a spicy pick.
Bet365.
That's a spicy pick there. Yeah, getting on the score sheet. All right, so Leafs got 20 minutes here to close out what would be a huge win for them, not only standings-wise against the 8-0 Winnipeg Jets, but also to stop their own little slide they've been on of 3 games. What do they need to do to keep this going? Yeah, I like their response after, the second power play goal for the Winnipeg Jets. It'd be like, oh, it's going to be this type of night, where despite our dominance at 5-on-5 every time we take a penalty, it's going to end up in the back of our net. Like, yeah, you could consider that adversity, but I like the way they responded. After that, they got the 5th goal. They just played really well, though, after where they just got back to business, did what they were doing for the previous 35 to 37 minutes, I suppose. So I like what the Leafs did in that period. At all facets except for when killing the penalties. Their 5-on-5 is great. Keep that going. They'll have no problem closing this out. I think we haven't mentioned it yet, but Anthony Stolarz has had a great game as well. The 2 power play goals, one heavily screened. I think one was just a really nice shot. But there's been a lot of steadiness from him. Great to keep him having that momentum, that positivity that I think he's the number one guy, regardless of if Joe Wall comes back this week again and has another game that's, good. I like the way that Stolarz plays, and I think the team plays really hard in front of him and seems to respond well. So 20 more minutes to hopefully keep this positive vibe going. We'll send it to Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph, who will have the call the third period next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
It's time to get hyped for the NBA season on Sirius XM.
Free for the win!
From a father-son duo in LA,
LeBron James and Bronny James,
to the Celtics defending their title.
It is banner 18.
You'll hear every game on your radio and the hometown announcers on the Sirius XM app.
Doncic will shoot a three and hit it!
And stay on point with all the biggest stories in the association on Sirius XM NBA Radio, Channel 86.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern
on NHL Network Radio,
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
The Leafs Radio Network.
Maple Leafs have a 3-goal cushion to take into the third period thanks to a pair of goals from John Tavares. Single tallies to Willie Nylander, Matthew Nyes, and Morgan Riley. Power play markers from Kyle Connor, who has scored twice for Winnipeg. And that is where we stand, with the Leafs out shooting the Jets 31-15 after 40 minutes of play. And we get set for the third period. The Leafs return home to entertain Seattle on Thursday night. We'll be with you 7 o'clock from Scotiabank Arena.
Willie Nylander, by the way, now 10 points in 10 games to start. He's only got 4 points in 4 of the 10 games. That includes a 3-point night already this evening.
Played down into the Winnipeg zone. The Jets defend the goal to our right on your radio dial, and the Leafs to the left. Cut off and shot towards the net, goes over top of the Jets goal. Leafs into the forecheck again, but the Jets are going to get it to the line and out. And at center ice, backhanded down into the Toronto end. McCabe reverses the puck for Tanev, up on the wing for Nylander. Nylander just plays it out at center ice, and the Jets go back into their own zone to regroup the puck. A pass up on the left wing. Ehlers was heading for the bench. Fed it over on the left wing side for Logan Stanley. Stanley got across the line, was knocked down on the play there by Ekman Larsson. Maple Leafs start back out at their own zone and come to center with Marner. Marner with a diagonal shooting into the left wing corner. The DeMello will get there first and play it back out at center ice. Marner once more, this time off Matthew's stick, and uncontrollable. And so here are the Jets getting it back down into the Toronto end. Stolarz out of the cage, pumps it back around the wall, blocked there in the corner by Nemesnikov. The Leafs are able to get it out, bank it off the boards and down into Winnipeg territory. That, of course, is Sandberg back. His pass goes errantly down into the Leaf end, and it's like watching a tennis match here. Shoot it in, shoot it out, and both teams doing the same thing, and no one getting any kind of zone time. Played off a stick and down into Winnipeg territory.
Better for the team up 3 goals, isn't it?
I would suggest. Played to the Leaf blue line, bounces off a stick and goes into the Toronto bench, and it will be brought back into the center ice area. Lots of teams spinning their wheels. Lots of teams trying to get a little traction underneath them.
Red, where today 11 teams in the NHL were 500.
Yeah.
How's that for parity?
Not down into the Winnipeg zone, but this is going to be an icing, and so it'll be brought back into the Toronto end.
I think it's amazing. We talk about the different ways the game has changed, but now you see on TV screens what the odds are of Kyle Connors scoring a hat trick. We've come a long way, haven't we?
No, not really, because I just, I'm too cheap. I just keep my load of money in my wallet, and that's where it stays. Now, I have young men from my family who enjoy that sort of thing, but they are not talking to the converted when they bring that all up. Flip high into the Toronto zone.
Like Jerry Cheever's old line at the racetrack. He said, I hope I break even today because I need the money.
Played off the boards to the red line. Jets trying to get in over the line, cannot. Jets were hollering for a penalty there, none coming. And now Reeves sends it in, and as he was going to be hit by Kupari, he lowered the boom on the forward of the Jets and knocked him flying. Down the boards trying to keep it in is Ekman Larsson, and arranging to do just that. Stanley plays it around to the far side, and it'll be DeMello coming through neutral ice for Winnipeg. A drop pass and a shot. That was directed wide easily there by goaltender Anthony Stolarz. Jets back in their own end. Trying to work out is DeMello. DeMello coming through center. And obviously, one of the things that would have been discussed in the Leaf dressing room is stay out of the penalty box. The 2 goals scored by the Jets have come with a man advantage as the shot deflects wide of the goal. Played up on the wing. The Leafs have some room there to get it out. Launching it high into the zone. Nylander's going to deny icing by getting to the puck first. Plays it around off of Sandberg. It'll come to the blue line, but the Leafs are unable to keep it in. That was a 3-goal lead decision, and a good one made by Simon Benoit as it comes back to the point. Ehlers' shot stopped there by Stolarz, who got bowled over by Velarde. The puck comes free to the Leafs, and they'll bounce it out into the center ice area. Niederreiter couldn't get it into the Toronto zone. Both teams changing here, and the Jets stretching things out. Simon Benoit, under normal circumstances, would have tried to keep that puck in. Decided, no, we got a 3-goal lead. I can back off here, and made a wise decision.
We used to call it play the score. It's now called game management. It was rebranded.
Who came up with that branding?
I don't know, but I guess playing the score is just a little too
easy. Yeah, here's Niederreiter in with a shot. That deflects off a body and goes into the far corner. Jets onto it, trying to get it freed up with Namestnikov, trying to dig it free. Matthews and McCabe had it pinned up against the boards. It comes back to the point. Josh Morrissey into the slot. That's another shot deflected wide of the Leaf goal. Chipped along the glass to the near wing and not out. Kept alive now by Namestnikov. Down into the corner. He gets it returned. Fed to the side of the goal, but Niederreiter couldn't do much with it. Again, it's pinned up against the wall. And this has got a lot of bodies forcing it up against the boards. Matthews continues the shove and push. The puck finally comes free, and it is Tanev getting it up on the wing, but not to a teammate, and played right back down around back of the net again. 2 Jets collide with one another and go sprawling, and the Leafs have some time and space, and it's brought to center by Marner. A pass looking for Domi, who had come off the bench, went off a skate, and the Jets have it again. Approaching 6 minutes played here in the third period, and the Leafs continue to lead 5-2. Poked along the boards then by Holmberg, but he couldn't pry his stick free. And played up on the wing by Domi. Grabbed by the Leafs, Ekman Larsson. He couldn't make a play with it. Kyle Connor circles the goal, but his pass back to the point was redirected down the ice, and racing after it was Bobby McMahon. He just failed to beat the Winnipeg defenseman to the puck. Jets carry with Connor through center. Connor in over the line. Has a pair of goals on the night. Bounces it wide of the Leaf goal. Benoit couldn't get to it. Connor gets it, a pass off a stick. Gets it again. Connor off the boards on the far side. Trying to backhand it in. Connor gets it again in the corner. Connor taken to the boards by Benoit. Puck comes free, and Holmberg will get the puck out at center for Toronto and buy the rest of the rink by just sending it into the Winnipeg zone. So far, a very workmanlike and efficient Toronto Maple Leaf defense of a 5-2 lead.
And yet, you'd like them to spend a little more time in the offensive zone because Winnipeg's starting to push.
Jake McCabe got it off the wing, and out come the Leafs at center. Brought in over the line by Tavares. Tavares with a centering effort, didn't work. Nylander got it to the side of the goal. Tavares couldn't center it further. He had Pacioretty waiting out in front. Jets play it back down into the Toronto end. McCabe back of the net. Tanev couldn't get to it. Swept around the boards. It'll come to the near point. Morrissey trying to walk the line with it. Morrissey feeds it off on the left wing side. Trying to get freed up is Ehlers. Ehlers holds the puck. Nobody really pressing here. Now, a penalty. That's why, because we could not see on our screen. And now they score off the side of the net. Scheifele on a delayed penalty call. Makes it 5-3.
Plenty of time to get the extra man on the ice, so it doesn't go down as a power play, but it's still a man advantage for Winnipeg. They were going to call Nylander on a hook. He had one hand on his stick that got caught up into the defenseman of the Winnipeg Jets. That was going to draw the penalty. But with Connor Hellebuyck on the bench for the extra attacker, Mark Scheifele snaps it from the left wing circle. And just before Stollers can get over, he beats him on the short side blocker side, and the Winnipeg Jets, with plenty of time left, are back to within 2. 12:21 to go.
So Scheifele gets the goal. It's his 6th of the season. And we apologize. We could not see the official with his arm up in the air because he wasn't on the screen. But the way the Leafs went into that prevent defense, you had to believe. Now here's a sharp angle shot from a sharp angle there by Kupari that had to be blocked on the post there by Stolarz. Again, the Jets pressing. Leafs are able to punch it out at center, and Marner takes his time just chipping it into the zone. Out of the net, Hellebuyck to play it up on the wing. Down the boards, the Leaf defense. Riley trying to pry it along the boards. It was David Camp. Camp up against the boards. Reeves bangs into his man, and the Jets get it up on the wing but don't get it out. Lorenz against the boards. Reeves trying to chip it in a little further, and it is grabbed off now by Logan Stanley. Stanley's pass. Got it ahead. Played ahead. Bit of a high stick maybe there. Almost caught Connor Timmins in the face, but no call, and the puck comes back at center. Leafs unable to get in. How many players do they have on the ice
here? That had to be too many men on the ice. The man that jumped on
immediately touched the puck.
Played the puck right away. And we'll see. Linesman was pointing to the bench, but we're going to have to wait to see if the Leafs are going to a power play or not.
All right, we'll go to the commercial break and see what transpired. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hear every game of the World Series on Sirius XM.
Shohei Ohtani unloads.
Listen to the Dodgers on your radio on Sirius 210 XM 177.
A Stantonian home run.
The Yankees can be heard on Sirius 208 and XM 175.
Kike Hernandez has done it again in the postseason.
The national broadcast is on ESPN Radio Channel 80, and you can take the World Series wherever you go by listening on the Sirius XM app.
What? Oh my goodness. $50 Super Chat, Big Jam roll. Thank you, Big Jam. Holy cow, that is insane. $50 Super Chat. Wow. I think that's probably one of the biggest we've ever gotten here on this channel. if not the biggest. Wow. Thank you so much. As well, big shout out, Dr. Dupree. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Much appreciated. Man, we got a bunch of new members in here as well. Sylvia J. We got Althea, Rajmond, Don D in the house. I love it. That we're having a lot of fun here, and the Leafs are still in the lead. Barely. We got to finish this one strong, buds. Let's finish it off. Also wanted to make a note. We also got a $25 donation from the baseball stream to our Sick Kids campaign. Thank you, Meme Lover. Much appreciated. This is so fun. Doing what we do for Sick Kids Hospital. Again, last Leafs game, I'm going to keep it running through games 4 and 5 of the World Series, if there's a game 5, because it's still 3-0 Dodgers. But 4,500 people still over in the chat over there. My goodness. Crazy thing we've done here at TSI. Thank you all. It's because of all of you Leafs fans. All right, Joe's talking again. Back to the hockey.
Leave that one alone. Deflected by the Leafs down into the Winnipeg zone. Approaching the midpoint of the period. Domi wraps it a little bit deeper. That forces Miller back behind his goal, and the Jets undefeated after 8 straight wins, playing it down into the Toronto end. Leafs get it up on the wing, off the skate, but not under control. Jets at their own blue line. Sandberg shoots it into the Toronto end. Chopped along the boards, cleared to the line, and out. Domi unable to reach it the first time, but now is able to tip it and get it deep to get a change of players going for the Maple Leafs. Sandberg going back behind the net.
Leafs have not had a shot on goal here in the third period.
Brought on the left wing by Perfetti. Cole Perfetti with a shot that goes off Tanev. Another block shot for the Leaf defenseman, and it caroms up into the screen and out of play.
John Tavares tonight, Joe. The Leafs still winning 65% of the face-offs. John Tavares has won 14 of 19.
Matthews trying to win this one, and he does. Tanev gets it around the boards. Leafs get it to the line, but don't get it out the first time. But an errant pass by Winnipeg allows them to access the center ice, and Marner backhands it down into the Winnipeg zone. Here's Nyes against the boards, coming off the half wall in front of the net for Matthews, and a shot. And there's the first shot on goal, but it's right into the crest of Connor Hellebuck. Jets get it down into the Leaf end. Tanev with a glance over his shoulder to see where the traffic's coming. Got it up on the wing, and Matthews got it out at center. Morrissey backpedals at the red line, and it is launched back in again by Logan Stanley. Changes for Winnipeg. Back of the net now for Toronto. McCabe got it ahead. Nylander sifts through center with a nice pass in across the line. Played into the corner and around back of the net. Tavares couldn't poke it free. And the Jets get it up on the wall and get it out at center. Hustling after it now is Ehlers. He is going to be hooked. And here's another penalty to the Maple Leafs.
Serves you right for getting the first 2 power plays, doesn't it? 5 straight power plays plus 1 delayed power play that led to a goal. Oh, this is horrible.
Wow. They're going to call this a trip on Simone Benoit. Wow.
It was a tap to the outside of the left ankle, not the skate blade, left ankle. Ehlers, who was trying to cut around Benoit, went down. The ref's right there and says, let's make it interesting.
Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win.
Hey, hockey fans. Thank you so much for being a part of our Create 100K campaign for Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto. Tonight is the last Leafs game that we will have our fall drive open for donations. So please, if you have been thinking about it, please make a donation or please share the link out. It's pinned in the chat or it's in the description if we've got other hockey stuff in there. Sick Kids is wrapping it up here on October 30th. We wanted to give it one final push for the World Series. We're doing it. It's up to you, Leafs Nation. Let's see what you've got to add here to the Sick Kids Create 100K for 2024. as you know, a portion of our proceeds every single month goes to SickKids, and man, I can't wait to make the donation for this October month once all is said and done with the baseball chats. Now, let's go back to the hockey. Thank you for being here. Thank you for helping us, and we'll see you back in the chat.
Lease the CRV LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Nice has tied the game, but a brilliant play by Max Domi.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Technically, the 6th power play for Winnipeg in a row. They scored with 6 attackers, so they really didn't get it. But now here's Scheifele getting it down into the corner. It is rattled off the boards and down the ice by Toronto. And the penalty kill, again, brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealer. Up your game. Lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com. Jets starting out of their own zone. Simone Benoit in the penalty box for tripping. Broken up by the Leafs at their blue line. Brought on over the line now by Nyes. Nyes cuts in front of the net, and a shot went off the crossbar, I believe, and up into the screen.
I don't know if we've seen that one in the Matthew Nyes repertoire before. Left-handed shot coming off the right wing. Starts towards the net, and then the spinorama move protects the puck by turning his back to Morrissey, and then goes backhand, forehand, and spins right between the hash marks.
I think it went off Morrissey's stick and up into the screen. Face off in the Winnipeg zone. Niederreiter taking the face off against Matthews, and Matthews waved out now. Wait a minute, they got something going on over at the penalty box. I guess maybe correcting the timing.
Another penalty?
No, not yet.
It is amazing how often it happens. So you get the first 2 power plays, and then the next 6 go the other way.
Marner cleared the puck all the way back into his own zone, and it is ripped around the boards and out at center, and Marner's got it again, and this time he sends it out and down the ice. Couple of heads-up plays made there by Mitch Marner. 50 seconds left in the power play. Pionk coming out, drops the puck back. Brought on through neutral ice by Cole Perfetti. In on the left wing for Iafallo. Iafallo gets it back to the point. Pionk works to the right wing side. Nyes couldn't knock down his pass. Comes back to the point again to Nemesnikov. Nemesnikov down the left wing, top of the circle. Got it around back of the net. Fed off on the wing, but a bad pass is going to go all the way out and down the ice. 20 seconds left in the power play. 7:23 to go in the third period. And the Toronto lead of 5-2 is now 5-3. Played down around back of the net. Centering pass. Back it goes. Right between the 2 defenders. An errant feed by the Jets to negate the power play. Miller coming out of his own end. Tavares couldn't get to him, but it's offside at the Toronto blue line. 6:57 to go in the third period.
Let's talk about odds. The Leafs get a courtesy call late.
The way this season has gone, when they have been penalized 30, well, now add 4 more, so that's 41 times they've been shorthanded. 41. Winnipeg, 18. They're a much cleaner team. You know, they're nice fellows. Nice fellows that don't.
This is one.
I mean, really?
This is one where the Leafs will get a power play with 20 seconds.
Oh, yeah, make it look a lot better, yeah. Puck down in the Winnipeg zone. Back to the point, but it got off the stick of Tanev. He's got to hustle back and being pressured hard here. Played it around back of his net. Riley got it up on the wing. Leafs don't get it out, but a bouncing puck is still free. And Riley will look for Tanev back of the net, and he finds him. Tanev on the near boards. Played it along, but it was cut off there by Adam Lowry. The Leafs are able to chop at it and muscle it out at center. Courtesy, and now here's the 2-on-1 break. Pacioretty looking for a pass back, and the shot by Nylander went off a stick and wide of the net. That line has been outstanding this evening. Pacioretty was all set up Left-hand shot on the right side, but Nylander elected to shoot, and it deflected well wide of the goal. Shot in, and an icing call. Good call by Anthony Stolarz.
He had his arm up.
Maybe should get him a whistle. He had his arm up knowing, hey, that's icing. And the linesman agreed with him.
Yeah, you don't see that as much anymore, do you? The goaltender put his arm up for icing.
Yep.
Because obviously the icing has changed, the icing calls, but I'm not sure I really thought about that until we just saw Stolarz do it.
Yeah.
Put his arm up in the air. That used to be a common part of goaltending.
Absolutely.
Just to let your defenseman
that
know.
was your way of signaling your defense. Hustle back, you got to touch the puck, right? Jets win the face-off, get it out at center. Leafs bring it in on the left wing, down the boards. Nyes trying to protect it, but had it knocked off his stick. Marner unable to get to it, and the Jets have it at center and into the Leaf zone. Right wing side for Ehlers. Ehlers back at the point, long shot in front. Blocked nicely there, and Morgan Riley leads the rush for Toronto. It gets to the blue line and just flips it in. Hellebuck played it around the boards. The Jets bring it back. Ehlers to center with a long shoot in. Pad save made by Stolarz to clear it into the corner, and the Leafs get rid of it as we approach 5 minutes left to go. McMahon got it ahead to Domi. A shot. Oh, and a great glove save made there by Hellebuck. And the reason I was laughing
Thought there was another penalty?
I thought for sure the Leafs were going to take another penalty there, but Domi is taken by the glove of Hellebuck. It is 5-3 in favor of the Leafs. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Want to hear something scary? Spirits are swirling in the SiriusXM app with creepy Halloween treats. Drift into the dark with Scream Radio. Here's Johnny. Or ride with the devil into Nitro's Halloween Headbangers. Find even more monstrous fun right now on the SiriusXM app. Just search Halloween.
Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91. And on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Michael Bunting of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You've always had the great ability to play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate
with Scott Laughlin and Gord Steller.
Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern
on NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM
Radio Network.
5 minutes and 2 seconds left to play in the third period. The Leafs are nursing a 5-3 lead here in the third period. Out shooting the Jets 34-21. Max Domi got that a little bit higher off the roof of the net. Might have really added some insurance for the Maple Leafs. Jets play a tie to center. Tip to the line. Dropped to the line, but not in by Winnipeg. They'll have to go back to their own blue line to reorganize. Kyle Connor looks for a pass. Doesn't get it. And the pass goes up the middle. Batted in over the line, quickly cleared back by Toronto, but no icing as the linesman waved that off, and then a broken stick or discarded stick back of the goal got in the way, and now the Jets trying to work their way out at center. They do, and they pump it in off the glass. Stolarz out of the net to clear it around the glass, and he's got it out and down the ice. Slow up. No, it won't. It'll be an icing call. The goaltender getting a little too much onto that one, and down the ice it goes. Stay tuned at the end of the game for our 3-star selection.
John Tavares will get some consideration with his 2 goals. Tavares, by the way, the game against Boston Saturday was a season low in ice time, 14 minutes and 10 seconds. And now you see the reconfigured second line. Tavares has already played 15 minutes and 25 seconds, and we got an empty net.
Wow. All right, with 4:04 to go. So the net empty down to our right. Or at least the right on the screen. And it's brought to center ice and now shot into the Toronto zone. Along the boards is McCabe to get it back at the net and into the corner. Cut off there by Ehlers. They score! A centering pass in front of the net by Nikolai Ehlers. And it is 5-4.
Kyle Connor again. His third, and here comes the Hats. Sure, if you're Scott Arniel, you probably want to get that puck drop again and build off the momentum. But for the second time in the game with the goalie on the bench, the Winnipeg Jets have scored. As Kyle Connor had some room. I mean, this going to be better coverage in the middle of the ice. The Leafs still have 5 players on the ice, but 4 down low, and Kyle Connor sifted. But just inside the left wing faceoff dot, got the pass and just snapped it past Stollers.
Good centering feed by Ehlers. 3rd goal, 9 on the season for Kyle Connor. And a 1-goal game now. He does have a great shot, though, and he gets it away in a hurry, doesn't he?
The Leafs have built a 4-0 lead in the second period. Jets made it 4-2 and a couple of power play goals. Tavares made it 5-2, but 2 more goals by the Jets. No 5-on-5 goals. 2 6-on-5s and then 2 power play markers. Have them right back in it.
So, Scott Arniel, Dean Chinook, former Leaf assistant coach, part of the coaching staff of the Winnipeg Jets. And it certainly got this crowd revved up anyway as it's deflected off a stick down into Winnipeg territory. Hellebuck in the goal. Puck comes up on the right wing side. I wouldn't think they would take him out at exactly this point, as it is back down in the Toronto zone. Now we cannot see Hellebuck, but we're assuming he is still in the net, and it is rolled down, and there he is. So here's Niederreiter dropping it back. Stanley comes to center, off on the left wing and backhanded down into the Toronto end. At any moment, he may be heading to the bench with 3 minutes to go, but the Leafs get the puck free, and Morgan Riley skates it to center. He'll skate it to the line, dish it off on the left wing. Leafs would like to have some zone time down here if they can. If puck goes free and back of the net, and the Jets come away with it, and Josh Morrissey turns back, being hounded there by Pontus Holmberg. Holmberg into the forecheck as it's launched high out and into the Toronto zone. No icing here, which is kind of strange because that was a alley-oop play all the way back into the zone. I don't believe the Leafs touched the puck, but they get it out, and now here's a chance. Breaking in towards the net was Matthews, and it was knocked away and stopped by Hellebuck. Here are the Jets coming through neutral ice. In across the line, trying to work in is Kyle Connor. Played to the side of the goal. 2:16 to go. Still 5 players on the ice for the Jets as it goes into the corner, and Marner gets it off a glove but not out of the zone initially, and then one of the Jets is upended. Oh, and everybody's calling for a penalty because Cole Perfetti fell down over a man.
That worked last time.
Yeah. 1:54. Played to center ice. Marner unable to get it in. Matthews goes to his defense. Quickly played ahead and deflected in over the line. And still can't see Hellebuck. So he is still in the net, we assume. Down into the corner and around back of the net. It goes to the far side. Brought on by Nyes. Ahead for Marner. Marner slides in over the line. Marner working into the slot. Doesn't shoot it at Hellebuck. Plays it to the point. It gets by the defense. But back there covering up was McCabe to send it down into Winnipeg territory. Minute 18 to go. Played into the zone, and I'm assuming that Hellebuck is headed for the bench, but the Leafs have control of the puck back of the net, and is banked off the boards and back down into Winnipeg territory, forcing Hellebuck back into the cage. Trying to get to the loose puck now on the near side.
They're going to call this? Are they going to call this
No,
a
the
hook?
Net is dislodged.
Oh, my goodness.
I was with you, my friend. I was with you.
I thought, and Mitch Marner, or pardon me, I don't think that was Marner's 16. Was that not Stephen Lorentz?
Might have been, yeah.
Kind of spun his head around like he was in The Exorcist, saying, "You're not calling that a penalty, are you?" But so the Leafs did a bit of a break with the net on. Usually, though, I mean, they let it go unless they deem that it was the Jets responsible for knocking the net off. They let the play go.
Yeah. Now it may have been Hellebuck who knocked it off going post to post, but with 1:03 left in the third period, the faceoff is going to be in the Winnipeg zone, and I believe the Jets have called timeout here to make sure that they've got the 5 guys that they want on initially rested, and the 6 to come on should they be able to get possession of the puck down in the Toronto end. Are you surprised that Hellebuck wasn't lifted earlier? Not for the first goal, but I mean here.
Yeah, down 4 minutes, and although they really never had the opportunity to set up in the Leaf zone, and I think that's what Scott Arniel was probably waiting for. Dump it in, be a battle, but Leafs were able to clear it, and John Tavares, I hate doing this as a jinx again, but he's won 16 of 21.
Lane Lambert talking to the Leafs about this face-off.
Hey,
obviously, winning the face-off and having some zone time here is very important as far as the Leafs are concerned. 5-4 is the score. Toronto with the lead. Here we go. Oh, and the face-off is outside the blue line. Wow, okay. So it must have been a Leaf that dislodged it.
Well, it was odd that the whistle blew.
Yep. Draw one by Toronto. Fed over now and to the far side. Leafs will bank it over the line and down into Winnipeg territory. Jets with it back of the goal with Morrissey. Morrissey and now Hellebuck heading towards the bench. And an icing call. Wow, against Winnipeg. An errant pass is going to force Hellebuck back into the net. And 46.2 seconds remain. Oh, it certainly was. Yep.
Yeah, yes, it was.
And
by the way, Kyle Connor, now that's his 6th career hat trick. Trails only Mark Scheifele and Patrick Laine, who have 8 career hat tricks in a Jet uniform.
Draw to the right in the offensive zone is won by Winnipeg. Morrissey back of the net. Got it up on the right wing. Falling there was the defenseman, but it is brought by Connor to get it ahead. In over the line. Grabbed off by Tanev, who circles the goal. Trying to get it out. And he got it ahead, and the Leafs with an empty net. Backhanded. Scores! John Tavares with a backhand to the empty net. And the Maple Leafs are going to win this one, and John Tavares scores the hat trick.
He was dynamite in the face-off dots and 3 goals. And as we mentioned, that came after a career low season low in ice time in Boston on Saturday night. But John Tavares, I mean, this was on the Leafs side of center. And there were a couple of Jets closing in. He had to get it away in a hurry, but this misses the net. You got a huge face-off back in your own zone on an icing. But Tavares has given the Leafs some breathing room, 6-4 with 24.6 left on the clock.
Lane Lambert is quite happy. I'm not so sure the coach is. I think he's thinking, could we not have gotten it to center ice and then shot it into the empty net? But with 24.6 seconds left in the third period, the Leafs are going to end their 3-game losing streak. And the Winnipeg Jets are going to taste defeat for the first time in this season.
For Tavares, that's his 4th hat trick as a member of the Leafs, but his first since November the 2nd, 2022 against Philadelphia. No thanks to Armin for that. I looked that up myself.
Oh, you did that yourself? Yes. That's wow. You're really working this game.
I would like Armin to double check, though.
Armin and Andrew Adams have been running the operation here for us. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, with a lot of the Leaf fans in Winnipeg, are going to celebrate this one. They'll come home to tangle with Seattle, but the time is going to run out here. Anthony Stolarz was going to win his 4th game of the season. And although 4 goals is not what you'd like, it was the Winnipeg power play that was something that was the Leafs' Achilles heel a little bit here in this game, after they had done rather well penalty killing over the first 9 games.
I know my son and I had the conversation last Friday after the Leafs had the losses to the Rangers. Then they lose back-to-back to Columbus and at home on the Thursday to the St. Louis Blues. And you looked at what they had coming up, the Boston Bruins and the Winnipeg Jets. As we discussed, knowing the Leafs,
they'll get 3 out of 4 points.
3 out of points or win both games.
Okay.
That's what they do.
Exactly.
After the sky is falling, you want to write them off. They're able to push back and get something out of it.
3 stars are brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care.
I wonder now how much time we have for Armin to look up the last time both the Leafs and an opposing player had hat tricks in the same game.
I don't know. Tell him to hurry up.
I'm going to go real slow with the 3 stars. Max Pacioretty, star number 3 for the Leafs, had an outstanding game. 3 assists on the night. Kyle Connor, a 3-goal night for the Winnipeg Jets, star number 2. And John Tavares bumped himself up from the 2nd star to 1st star, matching the Kyle Connor hat trick and helping the Leafs to a 6-4 victory in Winnipeg.
Chris Tanev got the lone assist on the Tavares hat trick goal as the Maple Leafs win it by a score of 6-4. An invitation to join us Thursday from Scotiabank Arena when Seattle arrives in town. We hope that you will join us then, 7 o'clock startup time, and we hope that you will bring us along if you're in the car. And we will ship this off then to Eilish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert for the post-game show. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
What's up, insiders? Oh my God, what a night. The Leafs get it done. 6-4 the final. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. As always, I will let the post-game run. We're going to let it ride out through the end of the postgame, and then I will send everyone over to the World Series game, which is just going absolutely insane right now. We've got, 5,200 people over there watching the game, hanging out with us on Toronto Sports Insider, the best sports fan community on YouTube. Unbelievable night of support. Don D, roll of 6 of 6 dice. Rajman K, Althea F, Jose Duarte, Christine, Sylvia, Big Jam Roll, huge super chat, Big J, Dr. Dupree as well. We didn't hit the 5 there for the goal, but I don't care. I'm still adding an extra $100 to the revenue share for SickKids. Doesn't matter. This October has been absolutely insane. The fact that I have a platform to hang out with all of you amazing people during all of these live sports games is absolutely insane. And we're doing big things here on TSI. So let's take it back to the post game. Big win tonight. Needed that. Really needed that one over the Jets. Whew. Man, had to get off the schneid. Those losses there were not pretty. There you go. Don Donaldson says, thanks, TSI. Thank you for being here and thank you for joining. Mark Daigle, very solid play tonight by the Buds. I'm impressed. I wish I could have been more in tune with the game here tonight. I've been bouncing back and forth between the Raptors, who are in overtime right now. 127, 125. The Nuggets are up. So head over there if you want to catch the end of the Raptors game. And the Dodgers just keep beating the heck out of the Yankees. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, cheers to all of you. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's let the post game run. We'll see you guys on Halloween, Leafs fans. Seattle Kraken, gonna be a good one. Richard Fewer, great to see you, Richard. Nice work tonight. Great work by all the mods. See you next time, and we'll see the mods over there in those other chats. Holy cow, it's going crazy over there. All hitting on TSI Allison earlier. It was nuts. But that's what happens with YouTube, I guess. So you got to learn to roll with the punches over here. There you go, Klomp as well. Good to see you, Klomp. Good luck to your Red Wings. Hope they're doing well for you, buddy. All right, go Leafs, go. Back to the post game.
Our room was staying rebuilt. We thought that we could surprise some teams, and I think we did that. A lot of guys that are coming back, and then obviously adding meat stuff is going to be huge. So, we're looking forward to getting started and seeing if we can build off of last season.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite SiriusXM FC shows on the all-new SiriusXM app, now available for all subscribers.
Leafs Radio Network, a 6-4 win for the Maple Leafs, breaking the undefeated streak of the Winnipeg Jets and starting streak of one win themselves.
Yeah,
only onward and upward.
The Winnipeg Jets were dangerous every single time. They had an odd man advantage, and they made that a little bit more interesting than it needed to be. But the Maple Leafs score 6 times, get a hat trick from John Tavares. All in all, a pretty good night for the Maple Leafs.
We talked to Jacob Stoller earlier in our show, and he tweeted out, he's there at the game, he's a Sportsnet.ca writer, that more hats were thrown on the ice for John Tavares' hat trick than Kyle Connor's.
I'm sure that'll go over well. That's not what an 8-0 team needed, was more love for a visiting team. That's rough out there in Winnipeg.
All right, let's take one last look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca.
2 other finals. The Panthers beat the Sabres 5-2, and the Oilers lost 6-1 to the Blue Jackets in Columbus. Currently in overtime,
No, I just watched the Tampa Bay Lightning score.
Tampa Bay Lightning scored to beat the Predators 3-2.
And Stamkos had a beautiful chance. I thought he was going to do it.
Yeah, we didn't have the perfect story out there in Tampa Bay. But alas, 2-0 Utah leads the Sharks. Sharks are brutal. Blackhawks 3-2 over the Avalanche right now, middle of the second. 0-0 just getting started, Flames and Golden Knights, and it's 1-1 early, Hurricanes and Canucks.
Okay, we'll send it over to a winning edition of Leafs Talk with JD Bunkus and Sam McKee. You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs Talk, JD Bunkus, Sam McKee. Leafs do something they haven't done in a few games, which is win a hockey game. They beat the Winnipeg Jets. They reward a raucous bunch of fans. I've said this many, many times, but if you want the best Toronto Maple Leafs experience, in my opinion, it's risky, but it's going to see a game against one of the Western Conference teams, buddy.
Never done it. The only away games I've gone to, I think I went to a game in Tampa once. I've gone to a game.
You went to Vancouver to watch.
Oh, it's true. I did go to one in Vancouver. I did go to one in Vancouver.
How do I know more about your life than you?
Because you pay attention, buddy. You're a great friend. I went to a game in Vancouver. And they lost, and it was like right at the end of the Sedin's career, and that was the night they honored their past teammate Rippin. And they came out like it was 2011 Sedin's. I think they scored 3 in the first period. They were buzzing. It was unbelievable.
No, I can genuinely remember.
They were booze raining down on like me, and I was getting berated. Went to go to the wash. No, I didn't go Jersey. I went jacket, hat. Going to the washroom was legitimately a scary experience. It was not a great time, to be honest with you. The only great thing about it was that the game was at 4 p.m. So we went out for dinner after, had a full night after the Leafs game. It was awesome.
Yeah, that is nice.
There was not a whole lot to be
West Coast sports are good for that in the sense of like you can have a night after the sports.
Yeah, exactly.
But also as a sportsman myself, a man who loves to stay up and watch games and feels like it's a special treat time when I get to watch all the late night sports. There is something just crap about being in a sports bar with your buds and they're like, all right, 11:30, all the games are completely finished.
It's over.
Talk to your friends about your feelings.
Is there any Aussie rules football on that the boys can watch?
Break out the cover band because there's no more sports to be played this evening. Anyways, the Leafs get the W. It was sweatier than it needed to be, but I think the story of the game is pretty clear. It's a line that on paper, when it got together, I think a lot of Leaf fans rolled their eyes at.
Though you're looking at one.
Yeah.
I was not thrilled about the reunion of John Tavares and William Nylander, to be honest with you. And for one night only, I would like to apologize to the former captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs and John Tavares. You know, when you don't have a point that you made earlier in the season, when you don't have Pontus Holmberg and Nick Robertsons as your line mates, still it looks like a pretty decent hockey player.
Yeah.
What a revelation.
Yeah.
When you're playing with a guy who scored 350 goals in this league and William Nylander is one of the best players in the league, all of a sudden old Johnny Toronto started to look like a real hockey player again. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not, but maybe I'm going to owe this guy an apology. Sorry, John. I'm sorry.
Here's the thing. Never did I think I was going to have to white knight for John Tavares. Okay. I have been, I think, as critical as anybody in the past. I guess I've just sort of recalibrated my expectations of him as a player, knowing that he's never going to live up to being the $11 million man. Like the window of Tavares being the catalyst for Stanley Cups is over, right?
Yes.
But he's not a bum. And the way that people talk about him, and I think a lot of this is actually framed through social media because I don't find his criticisms as frequent amongst friends or colleagues or whatever, whenever it's just sort of spoken. But he sort of is the safe landing zone when it comes to, I would say anyways, Twitter criticisms, right? Like you can take a shot at John Tavares and no one's going to push back at you, right? You take a shot at Nylander, Marner, Matthews, it's going to be a whole thing for you. And you could have 48 Twitter followers. Oh, yeah. I disagree with that too. But it feels like political when you make fun of any of the other guys, right? Like you're making a real statement, you know? With Tavares, whatever he does poorly, people can say it, and most people will just go, nod because they're disappointed with the contract. And these are the two things that I've been consistent on going into this season. I thought that he and Pacioretty could have something because of exactly what you saw tonight. They're two big bodies, two vets with big old hockey brains who have seen a lot of action, and they're not easy to get the puck off their sticks when they're below the dots. And if you look at how a lot of these goals are created tonight, it's these guys on the wall giving problems to a big Winnipeg Jets team, creating for their teammates in front of the net because they got to send extra guys over them. And they're two guys who can capitalize on mistakes. And so I'm not ready to say I think Nylander on this line is a good thing. I thought he was the most quiet out of the three this evening on the line, but I still hope that Nylander can drive his own and that he doesn't need to be with Tavares. But I think if you're a Leaf fan tonight, the most encouraging aspect is, hey, if Tavares and Pacioretty, they can both stay healthy in their advanced ages, obviously less of a concern for Tavares, they might be able to cook up a little bit of chemistry between the two of them.
Yeah, I think that's well said. I liked Willie a lot tonight. I thought it was his best game in a while. Thought he was buzzing around pretty good. He scored the second goal on another great play out in front of the net. He shoots it past.
I didn't say he was bad. I just thought that the other two guys stuck out more to me on the line when the offense was happening earlier.
I got to tell you, bud, Willie needed this. Like there's been a undercurrent from Berube in terms of I think it's a pretty predictable outcome here that the old gritty defense first coach isn't going to love William Nylander at times. And this is a pretty predictable outcome, but he's down almost 2 minutes a game from last season for this year. He's been put on the quote unquote second power play unit. Berube's talked multiple times about him showing frustration and feeling frustrated. Like he needed one of these. And, those two guys, William Nylander and John Tavares, we have kind of rolled our eyes at their chemistry and them playing together and us not loving it. But I thought tonight that he was a really good part of that line and a good mix. Like for sure, Pacioretty and Tavares were the catalyst for a lot of what happened, like you said, with the good board work. But I liked William Nylander receiving those passes. He makes an awesome behind the back pass to Morgan Rielly, who is that, actually I'm not even going to ask you the question, who scores on the best shot of his career by far. Like that. He stares.
He has.
No,
some
that's
of
the
those.
best. That's the best one. He stares down Hellebuck and goes bar down ferociously, like it barely touched mesh.
Yeah,
that's his nice. He's never shot one harder than that.
No,
he scored a nice one on Saturday night.
I love goals like that.
Yeah.
I love goals like that too, where it's like they don't like hit the back of the net like that, where it's just like ping ping and it just sits there.
Yeah,
you're like, look at it. Look at it sitting there behind you. Yeah, it was sexy.
He stared down. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
He tied McCabe and Caberlet on the Leafs all-time goal list.
Yeah, he's playing a long time for the Leafs.
For sure. But
Caberlet never shot in his career, so it's amazing. Caberlet has one goal because I never saw him shoot in his whole career as a Leaf. So, he just would hold on to the puck until the last possible minute, and then make the perfect saucer pass. But McCabe that's the premier offensive defenseman of our youth, the blast from the point. Like, that's what you always think of. So good for Riley. I thought he was pretty good tonight. I thought that goal was beautiful. Probably, like I said, nicest shot of his career. And I needed this tonight, buddy. I was feeling it. I was like, hopefully this team doesn't just suck. I know they always start slowly, but to see them go out big against a team that's got an 8-0 record, and clearly they make a comeback, we can talk about this. But I thought at even strength, the Leafs were not even close to a way better team. Like, I just thought for most of the night, they were absolutely caving the Jets in physically, just offensively, everything. They were all over them.
Yeah. Listen, the Riley shot is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Riley finishes with 3 points tonight? I think he finished with 3.
So.
But yeah, really good game for him. No, I just think it was a cool milestone to hit both those guys. And I just love that McCabe and Caberlet are tied on that list, that two guys that are synonymous with one another.
Riley was a +3 with the one goal.
Oh, okay. I thought that he had 3. Well, for some reason, I thought he had more, like he got more on the assist sheet, but that makes sense given what the other guys had. But yeah, so for him to sit there with those guys is cool. But I just liked the fact that McCabe and Caberlet tied together share that statistic, share that total. And quick McCabe thing, I will never get over the disrespect Team Canada showed him in 06 at the Olympics, where they were just picking bodies off the streets after his career year, refusing to play him. Guys had broken feet. They were like, get out there on the ice before McCabe. Anyways, I'll just
that was one of the like early big time takes that I remember being really upset about him not making that team. Like,
Buddy,
it was.
Remember what the other thing that pissed people off was from that Olympics?
Was that? Tell me, was it I remember Jordan? Eric Stahl and Sid didn't make it. Was that it? I forget.
The big thing that pissed a lot of people off was that they put Bertuzzi on the team after obviously Moore.
Right.
And there were people I remember that I knew who were like, I can't support Team Canada putting Bertuzzi on the team. Yeah.
That's a tough take. But was that the year that Sid got left home? Like, was it 06, right? The team you're talking about?
Yeah, 06.
Yeah, so 06. Maybe, yeah. Anyways, we're getting.
He would have been left home. He wasn't. I don't think he was on that team. But yeah, either way, that was the worst that we've ever had. That was like that. All the summits happened after that one. That was the
Robin Regier was on that team, and like old Rob Blake. Yeah, that was a tough one.
Yeah, that was a toughie. Anyways, back to this game. You're right. The Leafs dominated 5-on-5. I thought they came out with real purpose. Like this Winnipeg team, you can't take anything away from them. They've been dominating to start the season. They've got all these Leaf fans in their building. They're probably annoyed that they're there. They want to come out and show an effort. Winnipeg's no different than all the other teams. They want to play Toronto the same way and hard. And the Leafs just imposed their presence. So good for them. Again, the standard is back that we were holding them to after the Tampa game. The only thing in this game was just relentless dumb penalties late to try and let Winnipeg and their red hot power play back in it. But yeah, you take Winnipeg's special teams out of this, and those two teams didn't look like they were on the same planet. And Winnipeg is the talk of the town around NHL circles about them being finally the team of destiny. I was like, what? Don't we do this every year with Winnipeg? Don't they get hot for a stretch? And then everyone goes, oh, we didn't respect them enough. And then it's like we get to the playoffs and then they get bounced by a good team. I don't know. I'm just very familiar with this Winnipeg narrative. Sorry, Winnipeg fans.
Can I present to you the start of their season schedule-wise?
Yeah, sure.
They got the Sharks in there. They got the Penguins in there. They got the Blackhawks in there. They got the Flames in there. They got the Kraken.
Flames are good.
Flames are okay. Okay. Yeah. They've had a hot start. Listen, I don't want to disrespect my Flames. I like the Flames, but
you're going to go against the Flames?
No, I won't disrespect my Flames, but They're gonna have a tough goal here soon.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. Hot start. But anyways,
I think I'm getting Kadri on the podcast this week, so there's no disrespect.
His book, you guys are just gonna have a Barry Dubas fest on that show.
I'm a book guy. Hey, guess what? After the Sundin interview, all the guys come to me for the book interviews now. That's the way it's gonna go down. I thought that this was an awesome game for the Leafs, and you're right about Nylander needing it to have a good night. I will admit that I felt a little almost, I don't want to say annoyed by it, but I do think Nylander needs to be on his own line, and that he's got to be the driver of that, and that the ultimate success for the Leafs is going to come with 3 lines, not 2. And when you go to the Domi with Holmberg and mismatch McMahon line, it just doesn't feel like come any meaningful moment in the season that group is going to be able to put up something significant.
Can I give a positive McMahon thought though? Sure. After his benching on Saturday, where the puck explodes off his stick and it leads to a huge goal in that Bruins game, Berube talked about it today about him just playing. He wants him to be more simple. He wants him to be a power forward. He wants to paint stripes on a pussycat. I don't know if it's necessarily going to work, but I thought tonight he definitely was more aggressive than he'd been in games past. I thought he was in on the forecheck hard. I thought he was using his feet. I thought he was being a little bit of I thought he looked like a power forward tonight. I thought he had his moments where I don't know how much he ended up playing tonight, but he was taking the puck to the net hard. He does it right at the end of the game there where he blows by Pionk, gets the one-hander in on Hellebuck. Wasn't much of a threat or whatever, but I just thought that, he was improved tonight after getting called out a little bit by his coach and getting benched. So good for him. Like, I don't think you're going to go with that line a whole lot longer, if I'm being totally honest. I don't think, like you said, I don't think that's going to be your playoff starting third line with McMahon, Domi, and Holmberg. But I did notice McMahon from a positive tonight, and I thought he was pretty good.
His coach agrees with you because he ended up with 16. So it's like he
got 8 on Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he got his chances. He came out flying, and man, honestly, the hitting for him tonight is going to be just such a key. Is finish your checks, dude. Yeah. Like that's going to get all the attention from Berube is if you can just finish those checks. And he does that. He's going to probably keep getting, I don't think maybe that much ice time, but he's going to get more ice, obviously. The other guy, obviously the size dude was just, it felt like just another good Knies game, man. Scores again. He's got 5 on the season. He has that one play in the game where he turns back to the net, skates in, finds an opportunity and gets it towards the net for a dangerous chance. He looks phenomenal. And
do you want the real take here? Do you want the take? It's not the Marner contract that keeps you up at night. It's this one.
So I tweeted about it. I was like, an innocent tweet, like, hey, they're probably going to regret not getting this done. And I got all the crybabies in my mentions going like, why can't you just enjoy the season? Why can't you just enjoy watching the games? You got to be the biggest idiot, honest to God, if that upsets you. Like, you're such a binary thinker if your brain can only process like playing good, playing bad, no other thought in brain.
Easy. That's a bit of our fan base here.
It's got to be the biggest bozo on planet Earth who gets upset whenever you're like mentioning a contract that's going to come up. Man, Knies, that was one of the discussion points ahead of the season was, hey, what is the contract going to look like? Should they try and get this done now? There was some talk that the Leafs were trying to get it done. There was some momentum there. I don't know exactly what happened. I love when people make the assumption like the team tried, the player didn't. It's like, well, that means the team didn't try enough. Duh. Like there's a difference between going comfortable into a season and deciding to go into a season. And Matthew Knies so far he's been phenomenal. You're happy with his play. But I think that a lot of the sensitivity in this market right now around the hockey team is for most of us that can think about more than one thing at one time and still enjoy something. Yeah, you got to wonder what the number is. I actually think that it's going to be better than people think is actually what my prediction is going to be.
Like McCabe.
What?
Like the McCabe contract
is good.
Yeah,
I like
that one surprised me. That one surprised me too. I was like, well, that's, I guess they attacked on the extra year to get it down under $5 million or whatever. But to me, that was an awesome contract.
It just sucks that they have so many guys who are old. Like it just, there's the real potential but again, that's not Tree Living's problem. It's like what was left for him. You can't develop. You need to hit on Danford. Like that's got to be a guy that comes up and helps you over the next couple of years and supports what could be one guy aging out a little bit quicker than the others. But no, I thought that was like I actually thought that was a little bit less than what I expected it to come in at for McCabe.
We talked about this today with Kipper and Borney, but it's like, they get number one defenseman. You don't get number one defensemen at on July 1st. You know where you get number one defenseman? The draft. You get them in the draft, and then you develop them for 7 years, and then they become your stud. Over the past however many years with Kyle Dubas in charge, they never drafted one good defenseman that turned into anything. Like, think about it. Like, Riley was the prior, the people that was before. It's like Liljegren was supposed to be one of those guys. Sandin, they took
drafted him.
Burke draft, and then it's like, Topies and Ronies and all these 5'4" guys that have never had a sniff of the NHL. And it's like, boy, sure would have been nice to have one guy coming into his own right about now. So this is what you have to do. You have to sign the guys that are here. And I'll give Dubas credit for the trade to get McCabe. It was a good one because they had him on the cheap contract for the last 2 years. That was a good trade. I'll give him full credit for that one. But like, they never drafted and developed the guy. So anyways, I don't need to go down that road, but I like the contract for McCabe. It's hard to find defensemen, and I think he's a good one, and they have him for 5 years.
Okay. Any thoughts on them splitting up the power play?
I actually, I'm going to sound like Craig Berube here. They had two of them. The first one, they snapped it around. And it looked a lot more decisive. I thought they were passing it better, and they had a couple looks that didn't go in or whatever. But you're keeping it like that for a while. And I do think that you'll get positive results from it. I don't want to do too much into it, but at least they gained the zone and they passed it around and they made progress, in my opinion, tonight. You?
So I'll do one little mini take because again, it's a nothing sample so far, and they didn't score, but I've been advocating for this, like not exactly this mix of players, but whatever. I'm not going to cry that they put 2 and 2. And I know that on the surface, it looks like this massive demotion for Nylander specifically, where you're like, what did Nylander do? What did Nylander do? I actually just and what I saw in a small stretch was the thing I like about the unit is it allows Marner and Nylander to be separated, and both of them kind of be the creative guys that move the defense around. And I just thought Marner was far less stationary in that he felt like the jitterbug with the puck, where it's like he's going to open things up for players, that it didn't feel as binary as like, okay, we're going to all be on the perimeter and wait for hopefully Matthews to get a clean look, and then we feed it over to him, or Nylander comes down that right side and gets a halfway clean look and rips one on the net. Like, I think that those two guys being separated and getting that extra just feeling of you can have the puck longer, it's worth a look. That's all. I liked what I saw tonight in a little flash, but again, it was a nothing and they didn't score, so I can't really celebrate too much about it. But yeah, I think you give this another 6-7 games and see how it goes, and then go back to whatever the hell you do moving forward. Anything else from this game for you?
I got a couple quick rapid fires. First one, Tanev corner. I don't know if we have the empty netter show or whatever, but the play that he makes, he's on for a couple tonight against. I think he ended up a +1 or a +2 tonight. He was on for a couple against, which you don't love. But the play he makes on the empty netter, where they're coming in with pace, it's a hard rim, under pressure, he goes in there, digs a puck out, and on the left side of the ice, where he's on his right-handed side, where he's on the right side as opposed to a left-handed defenseman over there. On the right side of the ice. What am I talking about? I'm doing my north. On the right side of the ice, he digs it out in the corner with 2 or 3 guys on him, bearing down on him, and makes a great saucer pass right out to Tavares, who gets it on his stick and puts it in the net for the hat trick. To me, all I thought about is years past with them trying to do that with TJ Brody and him being on his offside, and like our joke, him never enjoying one game of hockey he's ever played in his life, where he just has to beat it to a square every night. And that's what I thought of. And Tanev makes a cool, calm play. And I just picture it in a playoff game, man, where you're up 1, they're dumping it into the corner. He's there, digs it out, gets it out, and you get an empty netter. I got to tell you, I love that play. I know it's a little thing, but it's just something that jumped out to me. It just jumped out to me.
Yep. What else?
And my last thing, sometimes I think I'm old, and I always joke with you about how I'm old, but Petrillo was talking about it on the broadcast tonight.
I have an old guy take.
But she was talking to Berube about fighting Ty Domi. Yeah. And I haven't reached the point of my life, old guy life, where I call my buds by their son's name yet. And he's like, I call Max Ty all the time. I call Max Ty all the time. Yeah. At least I'm not that old yet. Okay. I'm getting up there, but like he's like, Andy's like, oh, he calls him Kyle all the time.
To go before that.
I know.
Yeah, like,
that's a little wake up call. It's like, okay, I'm not that old yet, but I just love that he can't help himself call me Ty. Kills me. Kills me.
Listen, you act old, you feel.
What's up, insiders? I'm jumping in here because I'm going back to the baseball stream. I've been sitting here waiting for a commercial break to say thank you to our final super chat of the night. Well, stream's not over yet, so it may not be a final, but Don Donaldson joining as an insider tonight, as well as a $2 super chat. Thank you, Don, and thank you to all the support tonight. My God, we had a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 super chats tonight. So we will donate an extra $100 on top of our revenue share to SickKids in October. I can't wait to do a campaign so that you guys get to see that donation. Oh my God, we're doing big things with SickKids. Back to the hockey. Cheers, everybody. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you guys real soon.
Is it now? Is it soon? Is it when they're gonna do it? And today it was like almost 20 minutes after, like it was almost 7:50 before they dropped the puck. And yeah, I cared more because I wanted to watch World Series, and I should be going to that right now because it's still 4-0. It's still ball game. But yeah, it just drives me crazy. Just now, all broadcasters, all partners, everyone, stop this thing where you say the start time and then it's not the start time. We all hate it. Just tell us the time that the game starts, please.
Here's what I'm going to do for you, buddy. Okay. One of the things I used to do as producer of Leafs Nation Postgame and Pregame for Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the radio network, I would get in touch with every PR person around the league to find out what the actual puck drop was so that we could do it for our timing for the broadcast. So here's what I'm going to do for you, bud.
Thanks, man.
I'm going to text the broadcast. I'm going to text the PR every night before the game. Be like, what time's puck drop tonight? And then I'm going to text you and tell you what the exact puck drop is so you don't have to spend 1 minute. So this is what I get from this is that you don't love, Sportsnet. You don't love watching a pregame show.
I actually watch pregame shows all the time.
I know. You have to because they lie about the stuff behind the games.
No, but it's not even the pregame show stuff. I usually like watching the pregame stuff anyways, just because they'll be like, hey, maybe there's an injury or a scratch or something that I missed. I usually watch that stuff. Like, remind me of what's going on with this game, get my brain sort of focused. It's not that. It's that I'm ready for the game. Like I usually do tune in too early anyway, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm adding the extra time is the real issue here. Anyway, also I'd like to say that I don't know what it is, but I'm coming around on the black sweater. I used to hate its guts and I don't mind it anymore. I've warmed up. I've softened. I do think that makes me a little bit of a Tampa Bay Lightning fan where it's like, you're thieves. There's something about it that's wrong, but it was aesthetically pleasing for me tonight. I don't know if it was the jersey matchup or what, but it was the first time where I looked at it and went, not horrible.
I'll go a step further.
You love it.
Love it. Yeah. I've come around. I didn't like it to start, but I do love it. I think I like 2 or 3 times a year. It's nice. Yeah. But if we're in Jersey corner, there's not a team more desperate in the league for a rebrand than the Winnipeg Jets. Oh, yeah, those are the most 2012 looking jerseys I've ever seen in my life. Like those colors are bad together. Just go back to your old ones. They're beautiful. Or like do a spin on the old one. Like it's just those jerseys are bad.
I agree.
Time for a rebrand, Jets.
I agree. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the podcast. Please do that. Even if you're a YouTube watcher, it really helps us. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at JD Bunkus, Sam McKee. Reach out anytime, and we will catch you
Thursday against the Squids.
Thursday against the Squids. See you then.
Big radio listeners to fall for Subaru at their local Subaru dealerships, experiencing an adventure of their own. So migrate to your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists? The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Desjardins Insurance cares a lot about their clients. In fact, it's packed with such a ginormous amount of vast and substantial care that's bursting with even more whoppingly humongous and colossal care. You might be a little surprised when we tell you that all of that care fits in the palm of your hand. With the Desjardins Insurance mobile app, you'll get a big hand with 24/7 paper-free access to all of your home and auto policies, including your digital pink slip. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
You've been listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM. Head over to SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, for the best hockey talk.
91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Monday, October the 28th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets take on the Edmonton Oilers. Jackets on XM 221, Internet 927, Oilers on Internet 930. 7 p.m., Buffalo Sabres take on the Florida Panthers. Sabres on XM 219, Internet 922, Panthers on Internet 931. 7:30 p.m., Winnipeg Jets face the Toronto Maple Leafs. Jets on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 951, Leafs on Internet 946. 7:30 p.m., Tampa Bay Lightning face the Nashville Predators. Lightning on XM 220, Internet 945, Predators on Internet 935.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. SiriusXM, Channel 89.
Former Colorado Avalanche chairman and CEO Charlie Lyons was on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio Channel 91 with Steve Kouleas to discuss what it was like successfully keeping Joe Sakic in Colorado in 1997 during a chaotic 7-day time frame.
That all this, Charlie, comes together in 7 days. Like this isn't one moving part. Like if we get the Fox deal done, it's done. If the movie does really well, we'll borrow from the future, even though that wasn't the best thing, as you alluded to, from the movie company. Or the mayor says, yeah, we're going to do that. Like they could have said, it's August. We'll talk after Labor Day. So what's incredible, right? That you got it done that quickly, which is almost, it's hard to do one deal in 5 business days, let alone the 7 you dealt with.
You know, in the movie business, I make this point in the documentary. One of the things that keeps an audience engaged is if the clock is ticking. You know, find the person that's been kidnapped, disable the bomb, stop the terrorist, get to the stage on time so you can get up and do your stand-up comedy when the audience is waiting. The ticking clock makes people realize we don't have time to screw around. We got to fix this and do it right now. So that was, in many ways, as miserable it was for, and particularly with my team, because I had a great team, you know,